All right, good morning. It is First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX 950 AM, 106.9 FM. It is Jeff Manaski and your man, Uncle Smitty, in here this morning. Oh, you found your hat. There you go. There you go, bud. What, you got two different hats today.
Yeah.
What do you got? They both have the orange logo of an animal in the center.
I got Orioles hat, and I just turned on the moose.
Of course, that being Utica University. The hat looks good on you, by the way. And the Orioles hat. Let's talk about that for a second. So, again, we've said this before on the program. For people who don't know, Davey is a hat collector. Well, you explain it.
Go ahead. You can tell him.
Davey's a hat collector. And I'm sorry, I'm just texting a guest who's coming on later this morning. River Road, Marcy.
I'm a hat collector. And I like to collect different kind of hats from different sporty stuff. So.
And you don't really do NBA, right?
No.
You do some hockey, but not much?
I have 5 hockey hats. I have Utica Comets hats, a couple Rangers, and 3 Buffalo Sabres hats. The Rangers hat was my father's, so I cherish that one, but I don't wear it. Because my dad was a Rangers fan.
You've got some college sports hats.
Yes.
And primarily you've got baseball hats.
Yes.
Yeah, you got a lot. Do you have every baseball team?
Not every baseball team. I'm lacking like 8 of them.
And then you got some like AAA clubs too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. So you came in this morning as a Yankees fan. I was surprised to see you had a Baltimore Orioles hat on.
Yeah, that was the first thing I grabbed when I woke up this morning, got out of the shower. That's the first thing I put on.
Hang on.
Phew! God bless you. Phew! God bless you again.
Thank you. Do your friends ever bust your chops about, you're a Yankees fan, you're walking around with an Orioles hat on or a Texas Rangers hat on?
No.
No?
I don't have very many friends, so I don't get criticized.
Oh, that's not true. Every time you're not here, the phone rings off the hook with people who want to talk to you. I screen the calls. They're like, you're not Davey. I know. Well, where's Davey? He's not here today. All right, well, I'll call him tomorrow. You got more people who call this show for you than Bill or I.
No. Don't. That's not true. It's your guys' show.
It is, but you do your own show in there. That's why we always joke about that. Smitty's doing his own show in the other room.
I'm just happy to be part of it.
Oh, well, that's a very nice thing to say. So I've got some bizarre news stories coming up later this morning. Let me preview today's program first. You have the Utica University hat on, Fear the Moose. We'll talk with Blaise Fagiano, the head coach of the Pioneer football program. He'll join us coming up in the 8 o'clock hour. We will get an update on the storm, the hurricane that crossed over the bend, as they say in Florida, and is headed out to sea now, right? So that's a good thing? Or is it going to tear up the coast and ruin our Labor Day weekend? I hope that's not the case.
I hope not.
Because it's looking like a nice Labor Day weekend otherwise. But I guess
it's supposed to be 90 degrees next week after Monday.
Isn't it? So
it's calling for 91 on Monday, 88 on Tuesday. It's going to be hot when the kids go back to school.
Yeah, it's funny. We just got a weird snap of weather where I think we had a great summer as far as sunshine and heat. Most of August stunk, though. I mean, I understand that. I know the weather lately hasn't not been very good. So, all right, I'm looking at the forecast today. Mostly sunny, 70 degrees. We're going to struggle to get to 70 today.
If this was a Saturday in Central New York, this would be a great day to go watch a football game.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's kind of got that fall feel. And so tomorrow, mostly sunny skies. Overnight low tonight, 47.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's some fall sleeping weather right there. Friday, mostly sunny, a high of 74. Saturday, clouds but dry, a high of 78. Sunday, sunny, 83. Monday, sunny. My phone's telling me it's going to be 85. Tuesday, sunny, 88. Wednesday, sunny, 87. I mean, we're looking at a full week of sunshine and no rain. We'll take it. Certainly, we've had our fair share of rain over the past 3 weeks or so. Coming up later this morning, we'll talk with Blaise Fagiano. I mentioned in the 8 o'clock hour. We'll get an update on the storm. I started saying that before I dipped into the weather forecast. And next hour, we're going to chat with Cameron Decker again. I just want an update on him. He sends me info on some of his cases. He's got a couple of upstate New York cases where the prosecutors, the district attorney's office in certain counties have pursued cases he's been involved in. And a couple of the cases apparently have resulted in plea agreements. So we'll get updates on those cases. What type of a sentence, what type of a plea agreement is someone looking at for allegedly, knowingly having inappropriate conversations with minors and in many cases exchanging nude photos? Again, he sent me part of the conversations. In one case in particular, it's creepy stuff. It's creepy. We will maybe share some of that text message conversation coming up later next hour. I mean, I don't think it's any surprise when I say it's creepy and it's an adult male talking to someone he thinks is 13 or 14 or 15. You can imagine the gist of the conversation here. But
Creepy.
It is creepy. So we'll talk with Cameron Decker. Again, he continues to travel around and lure in these sexual predators. We'll talk to him about the latest on some of the cases in New York that he is investigating. Also, I want to ask him, because the last time he was on the show, we had a couple of people who messaged us to say Bill was kind of hard on him. And I asked Bill that after the segment aired, and essentially there were a few concerns that Bill had. But this kind of it does fall into the category of vigilantism. He involves the cops when somebody does something inappropriate like this or has these conversations and is willing to meet up. And then he involves police agencies. Again, in some counties, they're more receptive to it than other counties. So anyway, we'll get an update from Cameron Decker. We'll take your phone calls, comments, or questions on the topic as well. You can do that at 315-736-0186, or you can do that via the WIBX 950 mobile app. I also wanted to mention this morning that we are back on YouTube. We had a little snafu, if you will, with the internet in the building yesterday. That's why I couldn't get online. But we are online on the YouTube this morning. And Smitty, if you'll look down on the table here, you can see this on the video feed. What do you see in front of you?
A guy with a trophy with a golf club.
That is my longest drive trophy.
Congratulations.
It's sharp, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's where it's going to sit. Unless we have a guest, I'll move it.
Yeah.
But he's going to be the third man in the studio. You're the third man in the booth. This is the third man in the studio. So you can check that out. It was the Masonic Medical Research Institute golf tournament on Monday. I only had the opportunity to play in it because Town Square sponsored the event. I think they helped promote it. I don't know the full details. I was just asked, hey, there's this really cool golf tournament going on Monday. Would you like to be a part of it? And I said yes. It was Monday at the Yanandasis. And I'll tell you.
How soaked were you? Before, when you drove the ball, were you wet? Very wet?
Very wet. So I had brought several towels to keep, drying off. As a matter of fact, I was doing laundry last night, and I had to go into the trunk of the car because I had like 3 towels in there that were soaking wet. I have this big rain poncho that I wore for most of the day, but it's very long. So when you're swinging, it was kind of getting caught up in my swing. And then the organizers of the tournament came out with like the poncho that's almost like a little jacket. They're clear. You just slide it over your head. Those were helpful, certainly. But I just couldn't believe it didn't rain most of the morning on Monday. And it was cloudy. And then all of a sudden, like 11:30, 12 o'clock, like it was misting a little. It was a light rain. And then we started at 1, and it rained, with the exception of one hole for 5 minutes where it stopped raining. I mean, I think it rained the entire tournament. It's funny, though. Yanandasis, the golf course, man, that thing holds water. There was really no water issues on any of the holes that we played. It was actually pretty impressive because it did rain the entire afternoon. Obviously, that's nobody's fault. You can't predict it, right? This thing's set up months in advance. There's nothing you can do about it. But it was a nice golf tournament.
Well, congratulations again.
Good food. And unfortunately, we got soaking wet. My golf cleats were all soaked. Everything was wet. Everything was soaking wet. So what are you going to do?
I hate playing. I hate doing any kind of sport in the rain.
Well, it's funny because I thought of you. And I said, boy, at one point I said, look, if this rain picks up more, I'm out. Like I don't. At some point it becomes not fun, right? And then the other thing was my golf club was getting all wet. So once that's all wet, it's even hard to hold the club in your hand. So I have a backup golf glove. It's when I used to play beer league softball. It's one of the batting gloves I had from that league. But I'll tell you what, there's, do I want to say the face of it? The inside of the hand almost has a different texture. It almost kind of reminded me of the gloves that NFL wide receivers wear, where it's more prone to stick to the hand than slide off. So I used that as my backup, and it actually went pretty well. Although by the end of the day, that glove was completely soaked anyway. So, since we've already dipped our toe in this, and this is often where we begin with a little bit of a sports conversation, just a quick question for you, Smitty. On average, about how many baseballs does Major League Baseball go through in a season? You have any idea?
On average, a season?
A season, the whole league, not one team, the whole league.
1,000.
Oh my goodness, it's so much more than that, Smitty.
Is it?
It's 900,000.
Wow.
It's 100,000 shy of a million that they go through in one season. And I guess that would include, I believe that includes like batting practice, stuff like that. That can't just be live game action. I mean, they'd be changing the ball every couple of pitches. Although I guess in some cases they do. I mean, nowadays you watch a ball, pitcher throws it in the dirt, catcher picks it, it's got a little dirt on it, umpire takes it, throws it in the dugout. So I know they're big on the sticky stuff in Major League Baseball, and they apparently don't want any dirt on the ball either. According to the Social Security Administration, they have created the list of the weirdest baby names of the last year. Anyone out there got a unique first name? Is it a blessing or is it a curse? I've seen some interesting ones. Your Highness, I've seen before. Prince is an interesting one. I recently wrote a crime story where I'm trying to. The person who was arrested, who allegedly had stolen something. The person's name was a female. Was My Unique. And it was spelled MYUNIQUE. My Unique. That's an interesting name. Someone went through the Social Security Administration's official list of baby names from last year and cherry-picked what they considered to be the weirdest names. Each name was given to at least one baby in 2022, but not more than 10. Here are some of the highlights. The weirdest names for girls: Minnow, Banksy, Delight, Katniss. Of course, that's from, what's the movie? Katniss Everdeen. The Hunger Games?
Yes.
Yeah. That's what that inspired that one. Sparkle. Have you ever met a woman named Sparkle? Be honest. I know you have. She probably left glitter on your forehead. Pearly. Menorah. That seems to be religiously inspired, I guess. Here's another interesting name. I kind of like this one. Canary. We know some women whose name is a Beth, but it's usually comes from Elizabeth, right? Well, here's one on the list. Bethlehem was a name that a couple of girls got last year. Chai, as in chai tea. Strawberry. And last on the list, inspired by the Disney movie.
Oh, you mean what is it?
Pumpkin. She turns into a pumpkin at midnight.
Cinderella.
Cinderella. Someone named their daughter Cinderella.
Wow.
Here's the list of unique boys' names. Again, this is the list from the Social Security Administration. There were boys in the U.S. last year who received these names: Barley, Utah, Daytona.
After the Daytona 500 for NASCAR.
Yeah, or just the city.
Or Bike Week.
Texas. I could see that. I think I've actually met guys named Tex before, or maybe they just call them Tex.
Hey, Tex.
Fender. Cleaver. Clever. Cleaver, right? Or is it Clever?
Maybe it's named after the
It's Clever.
Beaver Cleaver. After the Leave It to Beaver TV show.
Jalad from Handmaid's Tale. Am I saying that right? Is it Jalad? I don't know that. I don't know those characters. Here's a couple of other interesting ones. Again, these are boys' names in 2022. They are rare. Less than 10 boys got this name, but some boys were named Cotton, Rooster. These have got to be, some of these names have got to be from.
Holstein, named after a cow.
No, there's no Holstein on here. But this has got to be from somebody. I just in my mind, I think of rural South. Well, if you named your kid Chaos.
No.
Ruckus. Crash. Here's a good one. Forbes. Another name, Lancelot. And then finally, the word awesome. Can you imagine that? You meet 3 brothers from the South who grew up, let's say, in rural Florida, and their names are Chaos, Ruckus, and Crash. I mean, it sounds like those names would probably come from the same family, right?
Yeah.
Chaos, Ruckus, and Crash.
They sound like a wrestling tag team. Chaos, Ruckus, and
Yeah, it's the New Age Demolition.
Right.
That's what it is. That's funny. Okay, so the weirdest ones to me on the list, Dragon. I think that's kind of interesting. Utah, Fender, Daytona. I mean, that's not a shock to me. People name their children after cities or states. It's not a big deal. Cotton. Rooster doesn't surprise me. I wonder if his father was in the military. But Chaos, Ruckus, and Crash are odd. Katniss, not a shock there. Sparkle, that does kind of sound like a stripper name, to be honest with you. Strawberry sounds also like a dance club name. Cinderella's interesting. Also, Pearly and Canary. I think I actually kind of like Canary, but what do you call them for short? Can? I don't know. Canary. Anyway, that is the list from the Social Security Administration of the weirdest names for children in 2022. Well, there's a lot of hype when you're younger about starting your exciting new career. But in reality, everyone is bored out of their minds when they're at work. A new study has found that 46% of Americans say they are bored at work at least 3 days a week. And 90% of the people who were polled said that they were bored and they have college degrees that they say they do not see coming back into school. 71% of people say they're happy with their current role at work. Just 35% of people say they enjoy their work. And 13% admit that they are unsatisfied. The main problem at work, though, seems to be that jobs become too monotonous. 71% of workers who have been in the same role for 2 years or more say that their job feels too routine. And that's the problem because most Americans say they want to be like their job. So I find that to be interesting. Who's on the line with us, Smitty? Oh, this is Stefan. I told Stefan to call in this morning. Hey, Stefan, how you doing, buddy? Stefan, what's going on, bud? Can you hear me?
Well, hello, Jeff, and hi, Davey.
Oh, hang on. There you go.
Hi, buddy. How are you?
Good. Hey, Jeff, did you see the Mets' wild win last night?
I did not see it, but obviously I hit it in sports this morning as I misnamed their opponent 3 times. But I know they got a walk-off victory on a hit by a pitch. You saw it, right?
Yeah, from the 8th inning on, it was pretty wild. DJ Stewart hit a tying home run to tie it at 5-5. Then in the top of the 9th, DJ Stewart with a man on first had a run-saving catch running into the wall in right center field. And then in the top of the 10th, it went into extras. The Rangers had the bases loaded, and to end the top of the 10th, there was a grounder to Alonso, which he picked up. He threw home, got the out at home, and then they got the out at first for the double play that ended the inning. And then in the bottom of the 10th, the Mets loaded the bases. Then Chapman hit DJ Stewart to win the game.
Yeah, the Mets have had a couple of odd walk-off wins. I mean, I was at the ballpark on Sunday, and they won 3-2 against the Angels, a walk-off victory. They won via a base hit, but I want to say it was bases loaded at the time with nobody out. I want to say two of the runners got on via walks. So the Mets are struggling. I give you credit for being such a diehard fan and still watching every single night.
Yeah, and now they're going to be calling up one of their top prospects, Ronnie Mauricio from Syracuse.
Yeah, it's time to see some of the younger players. If they are looking to redevelop the team and reset things, unfortunately, as we've read, that they're, what's the word I want to use, retooling?
Hey, Stefan.
They should be calling up the younger players. Stefan, can you hear Davey?
Yes, I can. What's that?
Have you seen Ronnie play this year in Syracuse?
Once I did, and I left early, and the game that I left early, he hit a walk-off homer.
The Yankees are calling up Jason Dominguez and Austin Wells. Dominguez is the stud outfielder, and Austin Wells is the number 2 prospect in the Yankees farm league. They're going to be calling him up for the catcher position, effective tomorrow.
Yeah, but maybe it's time for the Yankees to get younger as well.
Yeah, I think so. But some of those contracts, Stefan, thanks for the call, buddy. I hope you have a great day.
Bye, Jeff.
Bye, Stefan. So you call up those young players and see how they are. I think the Yankees are in a tough spot. It's going to be, I think, challenging to trade away some of the like the Giancarlo Stanton contract. That's a big contract. There's only so many times you can just cut a player loose like they did with Josh Donaldson, to be honest with you. I mean, you're just giving money away.
Well, Dominguez was at Double-A Somerset, and he was on fire, so they promoted him up to Scranton Wilkes-Barre. And Austin Wells has been down in Wilkes-Barre for the rest of the season. He's just been doing great defensive on the catcher side. So the Yankees could use a little bit of studs for catcher. They got Kyle Higashioka and Ben Robart right now with the loss of Jose Trevino.
315-736-0186 and via the WIBX 950 app if you want to chime in or weigh in. Again, coming up next hour, we'll touch base with Cameron Decker once again. If you have a question, I've tried to understand why some district attorneys feel comfortable working with him and why others don't. And I've heard some of the answers. I guess I kind of understand. But, the scenario that was kind of depicted in imagination was, well, what if the person gets really upset? Because he'll try to meet them in public places. What if the person gets really upset and they pull out a weapon and start shooting everybody? And I understand the concern there. I completely understand that. But does it make you feel any better to know that this person was willing to meet up with a child who might be 12, 13, or 14 years old, armed with a gun? It doesn't make me rest any easier. So anyway, there is an element of vigilantism that goes on with what Cameron Decker does. I want to get an update. I want him to respond to that, the vigilantism part of this, and why some DAs work with him and some don't. We'll get an update on some cases. And as I mentioned, he shared some rather gross text messages with me that were from offenders who are now facing charges and are looking at some jail time. We'll get an idea as to how much jail time. coming up next hour. Again, we'll also do today 2 free money questions of the day. We will chat with Blaise Fagiano, the head of football at Utica University, obviously the head football coach, and the Crime Stoppers Most Wanted Person of the Week. We'll do all that and much more. It's First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX.
We are proud to serve our country, to serve our local communities, to wear the uniform, to be a soldier, to serve abroad when and where duty calls. We are ready to stand with our brothers and sisters to defend, to serve, to fight. We're always ready. We're always there. We are the New York Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the New York Army National Guard.
Go with your gut. Your dog's immune system is based in the gut. A diet lacking in nutrients can cause itching, scratching, and a weak immune system. However, there is a solution. DINOVITE. Dinovite.
It took a grand total of 2 weeks. The dog stopped itching, the hair stopped falling out.
Try Dinovite for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Learn more at dinovite.com/radio.
Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dinovite.
Let's face it, talking about life insurance is never easy. But after we watched a close friend lose her husband with no insurance, we decided that wasn't going to happen to our family.
Yeah, but shopping for life insurance can be almost as difficult as talking about it.
But then we heard about Ethos Life Insurance. They're a new kind of life insurance, built for people on a busy schedule who don't have time for unnecessary doctor's visits, fine print, or hidden fees. You know, who want to keep it simple.
I couldn't believe how easy it was. We answered a few basic questions, and within minutes, we had an estimate of what it would cost and what sort of policy made sense for us.
I never imagined a life insurance could be so affordable.
And accessible.
The peace of mind knowing that our future is secure, it just removes a lot of the fear around getting older and...
Yeah, the unexpected.
I'm glad we talked about it.
I'm glad we went with ethoslife.com.
Go to getethos.com now for your free estimate. That's getethos.com. Getethos.com.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica Rome, W295DI Utica Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
Idalia is still causing trouble. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Now a tropical storm. It's causing flash flooding on the North Carolina coast after also leaving areas underwater from South Carolina to Georgia, where a man was killed by a falling tree, to Florida, where Idalia hit this time yesterday morning.
The top of the roof just caved, slapped in on me and my 3 kids and my grandson.
She's in Perry, Florida, just inland from the coast. Idalia's eye went right over it.
The traffic signals, they're blinking, but most of this town appears to be in complete darkness. The county, actually, 99% of the power is out here.
Fox Weather's Brandy Campbell standing in front of a damaged store.
Looks like a tornado hit it, but this was from Hurricane Idalia.
There are still over 300,000 power outages from there to the Carolinas. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis tells Fox.
We have an overwhelming number of personnel that are on the ground working to restore everybody across the board.
A fiery disaster in South Africa has left at least 73 people dead. Some are kids, dozens more injured. Some got hurt jumping out of windows.
A late-night fire ripping through a rundown 5-story building in Johannesburg that had been taken over by squatters and the homeless. Firefighters struggling through a maze of shacks and other makeshift structures constructed inside.
Fox's Jack Callahan. For the second time in a month, Republican Senate Leader Mitch McConnell froze up again at another news conference, this one in Kentucky. After McConnell was asked a question, he stood there stoic, standing, looking straight ahead, saying nothing until an aide stepped in.
Did you hear the question, Senator? Running for re-election in 2026? Yes. All right, I'm sorry, you all. We're going to need a minute.
McConnell then did answer a few more questions. The spokesperson later said the 81-year-old was lightheaded, feels fine, and will consult with a doctor. Back in March, McConnell fell at a hotel, suffered a concussion, and needed weeks to recover. America's listening to Fox News.
There are more identity threats than you realize. Even if you monitor your credit, only a little personal info needs to leak out, like your social security number or password,
for you to become a victim.
LifeLock alerts you to threats you could miss. If your identity is stolen, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions, but everyone can save up to 25% off their first year with promo code NEWS. Go to LifeLock.com.
Consumer Cellular's award-winning customer support is 100% based in the U.S., and you are 100% based in the U.S. That's something you have in common with Consumer Cellular's customer service. Consumer Cellular's customer service likes pizza, and you like pizza. You want a free month of service, and we want to give you one. We obviously can't wait to hear from you. Visit consumercellular.com/free month and enter code FREE MONTH to get your second month free. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Promotion is subject to terms and conditions.
FEMA is offering federal assistance to Hurricane Idalia victims in the Southeast, and President Biden says the government will be in Hawaii for the long term. After the deadly wildfire burnt down the Maui town of Lahaina, hundreds of people remain missing. There are 115 confirmed deaths.
Nearly $100 million in infrastructure funding will be dedicated to improving Hawaii's electric grid, a project that will include upgrading materials, clearing brush, and where possible, burying electric lines.
It's more expensive to do that, but where possible, we should put them underground. They're safest.
President Biden says federal agencies are committed to a long-term presence on Maui. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Former President Trump will be arraigned on 2020 election-related criminal charges next week in Georgia, and now all of those charged with him have been processed and freed.
Harrison Floyd's lawyer posted a $100,000 bond, allowing Floyd to walk out of the Fulton County Jail. Floyd, like former President Donald Trump and 17 others, was indicted for what Fulton County DA Fonnie Willis said was a coordinated effort to overturn the 2020 presidential vote in Georgia. Floyd was the only one of the defendants who did not negotiate a bond amount before turning himself in. He had been held since Friday. Floyd also faces federal charges in Maryland for an alleged confrontation with FBI agents serving him a warrant. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
One of those charged is ex-Trump lawyer Rudy Giuliani, and a federal judge has held him liable in a defamation lawsuit. Two Georgia election workers filed accusing Giuliani of falsely alleging fraud. This sets up a trial that could lead to Giuliani being ordered to pay them damages. On Wall Street, stock futures are mixed, up for the Dow, down for the NASDAQ. In baseball, Seattle and Houston won. They stay tied atop the AL West standings. Texas lost. The Rangers are a game back. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
We have mostly clear skies to start. We are at 51 degrees. WIBX News Time is 7:05. This news update is brought to you by Clinton Tractor, the leader in service, celebrating 70 years in business, 3 generations and counting. You can visit them online at clintontractor.net. A Utica man who caught a ride to the Oneida County Jail from state police wound up slashing the tires of several employees in the sheriff's office. That's according to Sheriff Rob Maciel, who says that after catching a ride to the jail on Tuesday, Jeremy Ibanez allegedly became upset for some reason, pulled out a knife, and began slashing the tires. Officials now say they believe Ibanez had malicious intent the entire time, but say he intentionally misled state troopers into thinking they were giving a courtesy ride to a pedestrian in need. Of course, the weather was inclement on Tuesday. It was raining quite a bit. Ibanez now being held in the county jail on $2,500 cash bail or $10,000 bond. He faces 5 counts of criminal mischief in the 4th degree, 6 counts of criminal tampering, and 1 count of attempted criminal mischief in the 4th degree. New York State Police Computer Crime Unit and Troop D, Homeland Security Investigations, and the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force have conducted and completed a joint investigation with the arrest of a Camillus man. Authorities have charged 53-year-old Raymond Spittler with 5 counts of promoting a sexual performance by a child and 5 counts of possession of a sexual performance by a child. Both of those are Class D felonies. A search warrant conducted at his home stemmed from an investigation into the transmitting child exploitation material via the internet. State police ask anyone who has more information on Raymond Spittler to contact state police at 366-6000. Well, more and more New Yorkers claim that they've seen a UFO. So far this year, there have been 80 new reports of unidentified objects flying in the sky. What will the rest of the year bring? The Empire State has always seemed like a hotspot for alien activity. We had the infamous incident in 1974 when John Lennon reported seeing a bright alien craft hovering above his Manhattan penthouse. You can find the list of New York's 25 mysterious UFO sightings on our website. Just head to WIBX950.com. Out towards Syracuse, they are planning to spray to get rid of some infected mosquitoes. It was scheduled earlier this week, but it was delayed because of the weather. Now aerial sprays are planned in Onondaga County tonight to try and eliminate mosquitoes that are infected with eastern equine encephalitis. The health department is going to be spraying the Cicero Swamp and the surrounding areas in hopes of killing off those bugs. Mosquitoes with triple E were discovered in the county for the first time this year several weeks ago. Other news, the Transportation Security Administration says Labor Day weekend is coming up fast, and they're offering some tips to help your travels be a bit less stressful. The agency says it's important for people to know what is allowed in a checked or carry-on bag so that you can move quickly through the screening process. Also, it's recommended that people arrive at least 2 hours before their flight to allow for enough time to go through security. Anyone with information, questions, or seeking information on what you can bring or not bring on an airplane, all you have to do is text the word travel to the number 275-872. WIBX News Time is 7:09. We are about to begin a stretch of very nice weather, mostly sunny skies. It'll be cool today, but up into the upper 80s next week. Here's what we can expect later today.
I'm Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint in the WIBX Weather Center. Today, a good deal of sunshine, cool but very pleasant afternoon, a high near 70. Tonight, clear sky turning chilly, lows mid and upper 40s. And Friday, mostly sunny, warmer afternoon, a high of 78. For more on your local forecast, tune to Eyewitness News at 6 on WUTR. I'm meteorologist Craig Flint on WIBX 950. And 106.9 FM.
We have mostly clear skies, 51 degrees to start. It is 7:10. In sports, the Mets get a win against the Texas Rangers. 6-5 in 10 innings was the final. DJ Stewart had a big night at the plate, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, and a walk-off hit by pitch. Bases loaded, he was hit by a pitch, and that forced in the winning run. Jeff Brigham was credited with the victory. The Mets are now still last in the NL East at 61-73. They welcome the Seattle Mariners to town to start a 3-game series that begins tomorrow night at Citi Field. The Yankees have won 3 straight games. They took down the Tigers 6-2 in Detroit. Garrett Cole picked up the win. He struck out 7 batters, allowed 2 runs over 6 innings pitched. Ian Hamilton got his second save of the season. DJ LeMahieu, Gleyber Torres, and Giancarlo Stanton each homered for the Bronx Bombers. The Yankees now 65-68. They look to sweep the 4-game series against the Tigers this afternoon at Comerica Park. Team USA put together a dominant performance in their FIBA World Cup first-round finale. They beat Jordan 110-62, a 48-point victory at the Mall of Asia Arena, which is in the Philippines. Brooklyn's Mikal Bridges and Cameron Johnson combined for 14 points in the victory. Some football news. The Giants not happy with Aaron Rodgers. Defensive end Jihad Ward said he did not like the way that his interaction with Aaron Rodgers was portrayed on the TV show Hard Knocks, saying that his action stemmed from disgust with an illegal block by Jets wide receiver Randall Cobb. It resulted in a concussion for Giants safety Bobby McCain. Players on the video were shown laughing in the Jets huddle after Rodgers called out Cobb for the blindside block. Ward said after Wednesday's practice, it's preseason and all that stuff, and you're going to get some reaction like that. It's cool though. That's how they roll. I think we play them soon. It is what it is. The Giants and Jets will actually play on October 29th at MetLife Stadium. And one more story here. We'll go back to the baseball world. Tampa Bay Rays shortstop Wander Franco is now dealing with a second complaint that he was engaged in a relationship with a minor. ESPN reports that a special prosecutor in the Dominican Republic is investigating Franco after 3 girls alleged that he had relationships with 22-year-old minors. They alleged that they had relationships with him. He is 22, and they are minors. A third girl has yet to speak formally with authorities. Major League Baseball placed Franco on paid administrative leave on August 22nd after social media posts emerged claiming the inappropriate relationships. Franco signed an 11-year, $182 million contract with the Tampa Bay Rays back in 2021. WIBX News Time, 7:13. It is First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX 950 AM and 106.9 FM.
Do you feel like your current checking account just isn't working for you anymore? Maybe monthly fees are cutting into your already tight budget. Or maybe you're looking for more convenience with additional bells and whistles that allow you to accomplish more with less work. Whatever your reason, it might be a great time for you to check out the lineup of accounts at Adirondack Bank. From no-frills basic accounts to paperless high-yield accounts, we're sure to have the perfect solution for your needs. We also offer a large selection of extras such as customizable debit cards, electronic statements, online banking and bill pay, mobile banking, and mobile deposit. We also have a great client services team ready to answer your questions with our live chat. Visit our website at www.adkbank.com. Use the checking comparison tool and see which options are best for you. That's adkbank.com. Member FDIC.
Paid for by ERC Business Solutions. The following is a public notice for business owners affected by COVID-19. Due to the recent expansion of the Employee Retention Tax Credit, you may be eligible to receive compensation of up to $26,000 per employee on your payroll throughout 2020 and 21. However, time is running out for you to apply for this credit. At ERC Business Solutions, we make it simple. To encourage as many business people as possible to take advantage of this program before the window closes, a toll-free telephone number has been established for you to rapidly check your eligibility. There are no application fees, and the average call takes less than 8 minutes. That number is 888-449-3604. 888-449-3604. To see if you qualify to receive a check from the U.S. Treasury Department for up to $26,000 per employee before the program ends, call 888-449-3604. A team of ERC specialists are awaiting your call at 888-449-3604. Once again, 888-449-3604.
The Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills is accepting new patients right now. If you're in need of a new family doctor or a new physician, a private practitioner, maybe your doctor is retired or you're looking for something different, the answer is in Washington Mills at the Falcon Clinic. This is Bill Keeler. Call today. Sleep, fatigue, pain, ADHD. You're not feeling well. You need an annual checkup. You need a physical. And it goes even further if you needed counseling. There's counseling for everything from smoking addiction to substance abuse, acupuncture, all under one roof. And then there's the osteopathic approach. The area's premier osteopathic medical clinic, the Falcon Clinic, is accepting patients right now. Call them today. Dr. Shemaleski, Dr. Zielinski, Dr. Kosminski, all there under one roof. Call 315-507-4751 for the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain.
But we don't speak Spanish.
So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's conversational method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aw, he just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Nos vamos a divertir mucho.
And that means we're going to have a lot of fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Go with your gut. Your dog's immune system is based in the gut. A diet lacking in nutrients can cause itching, scratching, and a weak immune system. However, there is a solution. DINOVITE, Dinovite.
It took a grand total of 2 weeks. The dog stopped itching, the hair stopped falling out.
Try Dinovite for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Learn more at dinovite.com/radio.
Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dinovite.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. This is your dentist. Do me a favor and feel the front of your teeth. How grimy are they?
Ugh.
It's time for a Crest Pro Health reality checkup. That grime is the buildup of plaque bacteria that can cause cavities in just months. You need to switch to Crest Pro Health. While most toothpaste stop working in minutes, Crest Pro Health's antibacterial fluoride protects for up to 12 hours to stop cavities before they start. So pick some up on the way home. Smile. Crest has you covered.
It's the final days of the summer window sale at New York Sash. 50% off the installation of new windows. Any sizes, styles, or quantities. This is Bill Keeler. You can add patio doors to that if you'd like. We did at our home, and the savings was incredible, especially when it comes to your thermostat, your energy bill. Professional installation by trained and certified craftsmen with a lifetime warranty. And right now you can save on installation. It's time to get it now. New York Sash will work with you to determine the best window for your home. You can meet with a New York Sash consultant and have new energy-efficient windows installed before the snow falls. 50% off the installation of new windows right now. But remember, the sale ends on Monday. So stop by the New York Sash Idea and Design Center in Whitesboro to get started. They're open all week until 6 p.m. and Saturday from 9 till 1. Or you can browse anytime on their website at newyorksash.com. And let the New York Sash family take care of your family.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, it is First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX 950 AM and 106.9 FM. Bill is off this week and is back next week. Just a programming note, we will have a best of show. No, it's not a best of show, Smitty. What is it? It's the Fox News specials. They cover a variety of topics.
Yeah, there's 3 different specials.
And
Guy Benson did one. Emily Capagna did one about her true crimes, and Abby Hornacek did another one. I don't know what she's talking about, but they're all be good shows.
Yeah, and that'll be coming up on Monday. We hope everybody has a great and safe Labor Day weekend as we unfortunately say goodbye to the summer. Of course, the New York State Fair will conclude on Monday as well. Joining us in studio right now is Cameron Decker, and Cameron's been on the program before many times. He does these undercover to catch a predator style investigations, and he joins us now in studio. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How you doing?
Oh, I got the wrong one on. There we go. Here we are.
Oh, it's all right. Good morning, sir.
So we were corresponding yesterday, and you've got a couple of more cases that are about to come to a conclusion.
Well, actually, 2 cases already have officially convicted, agreed to a plea deal, and sentencing phase is in a week or a couple weeks at least.
So what kind of a plea agreement? Do you know offhand what the charges were, and then what type of a plea agreement they faced? And this was in Delaware County, New York?
Yeah, so Delaware County, New York. Sean Smith is the acting DA. However, he was just elected in the primaries, running uncontested, so he'll be the acting DA or the official DA, and for the next 4 years or so.
And I guess that'll begin in January. The actual election will come in November, right? But he won the primaries.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so the first charge typically that they get hit with, it's just a misdemeanor. It is called attempted endangerment of the welfare of a child. And that statute actually is 2 combined together because the way New York law, I'm from Florida, so they do things a lot differently here. So it's 2 statutes. So the attempted is sections 110, and then the endangering the welfare of a child is 260.10. So after that, then they also get charged with a second-degree felony, which is attempted disseminating indecent materials to a minor, which is 235.22.
And that whole case, Are you saying that whole case is just based on information that you brought forward?
Yeah, absolutely. The difference out there, though, is most of the police agencies are willing to work with me. So we're not going into these situations blind. We're not putting the public at risk. Everything's pretty well coordinated. I provide them with all the evidence up front before the individual shows up so they could verify it. And also they take my cell phone, which they can dump and see if anything's been deleted or whatever. So, because I'm not law enforcement, that's the only way that, legally they can make sure everything is in fact there the way it's supposed to be. So, yes, these cases in Delaware County, 2 out of 7 so far have now been convicted. And the 2 individuals that just got convicted, the first guy I caught on June 5th, he was convicted on June 27th. So less than a month, he agreed to a plea deal. He didn't want to sit in jail. And then the second guy took about a couple months. He just agreed to a plea deal. Now, because of New York laws and how everything works here, typically for attempted, they end up with felony probation, sex offender registry to start out with. If they violate that, they go straight to prison.
Do you know if any of the cases that you mentioned, the 7 cases you're working on, all in Delaware County?
Otsego County, Delaware County. I've done some in Fulton County and Chenango County.
Do they have previous records that involve this type of engagement and sexual related content or meeting up with minors? To your knowledge, do any of them have backgrounds in that?
I'm not sure.
Not sure. And these are all adult males.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find them all on Grindr?
No, Facebook, Instagram, Grindr, but pretty much any place that doesn't require like a credit card to sign up. Obviously, a kid wouldn't be able to get on there. I try and stay on apps that either don't have enough securities or apps that, kids aren't expecting adults to message them, like Facebook or something like that.
And then in these cases, do you reach out to them or they reach out to you?
Oh, we never reach out to them first. They have to message us.
That would kind of be, I understand the argument of entrapment. If you're reaching out to them, that would kind of, even though you're not law enforcement, it would seem that they would be able to argue, well, look, I wasn't looking for this, but someone approached me and then talked me into it.
Yeah, so I had the privilege of learning from some ICAC detectives across the East Coast of America. Several cases, obviously, led to conversations with detectives and concerns of theirs at the time. And so I learned to not initiate anything. It's pretty simple, actually. If, you feel like you're good at it, I'd say decoy and send it into the police so they can investigate it. But it's easy in the sense of you just put an account out there. Obviously not a real kid, just a de-aged face-app pic, basically. And you just wait for these individuals to hit up the account, and when they hit it up, obviously they know that it's a kid or, younger than the age of 16 just based on what the picture looks like. And then you tell them your age right away within the first few messages. And then if they initiate anything further than that, then that's on them. We're not putting it in their heads to continue.
You sent me a screenshot of some of the conversations. Now, I want to ask you something here.
Sure.
You sent me, as I mentioned, a screenshot of some of the conversations. I don't want to get into this.
Yeah, it's not good for radio.
Yeah, it's just too pervy and creepy, to be honest with you. For me,
yeah,
it's what you would imagine, though. It starts out with like a "Hey, how you doing? What's going on? How have you been?" Now, I don't want to say how have you been. Let me be more accurate. The HBU. We speak in abbreviations now. There's an acronym for everything out there today.
How about you? Yeah,
yeah, and that now there's acronyms for like full conversations. There's WID. What are you doing? There's HBU. How about you? I mean, it goes on and on and on. So
I have a question for you, actually.
Go ahead.
Since you're looking at it. So from where you see where he messaged first, about, do you see where it's time-stamped underneath? About how long would you say did it take me to tell him I was 13?
It's very early on.
I don't have them in front of me, but...
Yeah, for some reason I don't. You sent me a lot of info yesterday, so I'm trying to look here. I can't see the screenshots of the conversation anymore for some reason.
Let me see. I could pull it up here. Hold on a second. Yeah, it's important because consistency is also key. Even though each person that I'm talking with is a different person, it's almost like a script to a play. You got to stay on script, and you can't get off of it. You can't cut corners. Here, let me see real quick. Okay, there it is. I got him right here.
I mean, it's in the first couple of exchanges.
Yeah, so 4:33 p.m. he said hello or hey, and then at 4:34 p.m. I said I'm going to be 14 soon.
Yeah, so it's very early.
1 minute.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so just so you know, this guy right here was out of Madison County. I was decoying there, but he potentially lives in Oneida County. And I went to the state police in Madison, and I guess that they're not interested in even investigating it. So at this point in time, and I didn't expose him either, I heard what the DA of Oneida County suggested, like he was concerned about public safety. So for me, since I'm staying here temporarily right now, I was like, well, I want to really see this guy get prosecuted and investigated and looked into, so I'm just not going to go confront him. I'm just going to take everything I have and give it to state police. So then I went to the state police barracks, and they told me the DA of Madison County doesn't want them taking third-party evidence, even though I've never done anything in Madison County before. So.
Yeah. When you say you've never done anything, you mean investigations?
Yeah, I've never decoyed there other than that day. Like before that, I've never been there before to decoy. Everything that I've gotten near there has either been Chenango County or Oneida County.
So when we talked to you last time, you had raised some issues with, you felt cases in Utica, individuals in Utica who had attempted to engage in this behavior with minors, and you felt like there was a lack of action. In one particular case, somebody admitted, I believe on your video stream, that they had child pornography on their phone.
Mm-hmm.
The police ultimately responded, but his phone was never seized. Was there an update on that case?
Yes. So actually, I think I updated the last time I was on here when I called in, but yeah, so 2 days after the previous time that I was on the radio, like 2 days after, I got a call from Detective Kelly telling me that they have served a search warrant on his phone. So I was really glad to hear that. Now, the thing is, like, my concern is rooted in the possibility that by not conducting these investigations, that, potentially there could be real victims attached to that. Whether it's, underage nude images of kids on their phones, or maybe they're talking to other kids. If they're not even looked into or on the radar, I can't stop them. I'm not the police. I also don't want to see them get, hurt. I want to see them legally, have justice served. And, while I understand the Oneida County DA's frustrations with what I'm doing, his concerns, they're not misplaced. I believe that he has genuine reasons for that. I guess my only thing that I would ask him is, would he be willing to push these to grand jury? So far now I'm up to 10 grand jury hearings in New York this year, all unanimous decisions to indict. Not one of the grand jury hearings was there even one person that didn't raise their hand. So I'm asking him if he doesn't feel comfortable, putting all the weight on his shoulders to be the man to be like, hey, I'm going to charge this guy. So he doesn't look bad if it goes wrong or whatever. I'm just asking him, like, hey, can you put the cases I did a year ago, that's nothing, happened yet with, before a grand jury? I'll show up there and I know what to do.
So the last time we talked to you, one of the questions that was raised was, or I guess one of the things that people questioned as far as your motivation was, well, is he doing this for money? And when we talked, Bill and I don't know if Bill said this on the air, but Bill and I had spoke like during a break or something. And he's like, look, I understand, like Chris Hansen, nobody ever knocks Chris Hansen for doing the To Catch a Predator series, but he was doing that for money. That's a news agency. That's
Right.
how he gets paid. So I don't know that it's necessarily fair to knock you, but you have like a personal story, and we don't have to go deep into it. But can you
Sure.
talk about why this is so important to you?
Yeah. So first off, I'd like to say I used to make money the first 6 months, and I just basically used a little bit of money that I'd make in monetizations, cover my gas. Since I'm in New York, I go through the cell phones quite frequently. In fact, even if I don't get to physically catch them, I still turn over that cell phone with the communications to police, and I lose that for a very long time, so I have to go buy a new one. But the last, I'd say, 10 months now, I haven't made any monetizations from this. I haven't been monetized. Like, people could go to my Facebook, they can go to my YouTube, they can go to Twitter, Rumble, whatever. They're gonna see that there's no advertisements on any of my videos. We simply like to post them for exposure, so that there's people in those communities, specifically Facebook. I share them into local Facebook groups, so this way they're aware of, which individuals may or may not be in their kids' phones. If they are, now they know that this person's up to no good. They're there for nefarious reasons. Now, as to why I do this, when I was a kid myself, unfortunately, I was abused multiple times in multiple different manners and ways that I don't think is good for radio. And I like to do this because I don't want to see other kids have to go through what I had to go through. I don't think it's fair. And if, I was robbed of my childhood, I don't think other children should have their childhoods robbed from them. And one thing I wish that the police and the DAs would understand is there's not enough of them to catch all of these people. There's not enough police officers in the entire state of New York to catch every single child predator online, and they need all the help that they can get.
Let me ask, what do you do for money? How do you gas up your car to go travel from community to community to buy these multiple cell phones?
So I do get like cell phone donations, like people just donate old cell phones, or I have a savings account. So I was doing some online work for a while, and I had a savings account. And right now it's kind of funny because I travel so much up and down the East Coast. I started a camping YouTube channel where basically I just do blogging, and I'm only like 200 subscribers away from getting paid for that. So I'm doing like camping videos, and we're building, it's kind of cool. We're building a cabin RV type style thing to camp out in and travel the country, so I could do this anywhere and be more remote. But yeah, like pretty much I'm just creative with how I've made money. I've done some online gigs when I went back to Florida. I've done some Uber type stuff with a friend that owns kind of like not a taxi company, but like a chauffeur type thing. I've worked for him when I go back and make trips. But yeah, this sort of thing though doesn't really cost a lot of money.
Well, no, but the gas, it's like $4 a gallon now, right?
And
if you're driving Delaware County, Oneida County, Madison County, you go into other states, like you said, you go up and down the East Coast.
It does get pricey, but it's not, to what the police would pay to do these kind of investigations nonstop, it's a fraction. It's pennies on, the dollar, basically. When I was in Florida, I had a detective tell me for the police decoys and the whole operation per pervert that they catch and arrest, it costs them anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000, and that doesn't include the court proceedings that take place later on.
Wow. Yeah, because you have multiple officers working on a particular case.
For me, it's a tank of gas and either a free cell phone or a $20 cell phone from Family Dollar. One thing that helps me out here in New York is most police agencies, they don't take my SIM card, which is, your phone plan, your phone number. So I usually get to pop that out of the phone and pop it in the next phone. So saves me a little bit of money that way. But
do you make any money, like for instance, in Delaware County, when they get a conviction, or in communities where they are willing to work with you? Do they pay you?
Oh, no way.
Right, because that would seem like a defense attorney would rip that apart. They'd be like, "You're being paid for this."
Yeah, and I wouldn't want to get paid for it from, I wouldn't want to take money from the state or the people to protect kids. It doesn't even feel right. But I'd say like the biggest thing for me is that the people, I want them to watch my videos. I want them to watch the exposures. I want them to share it to help, for one, that person now knows that they're watched and well known by a lot of people for his actions. And then two, parents now know like what they keep their eyes out for if they let their kids on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, But yeah, I mean,
I have two more questions real quick
sure,
before we
yeah,
let you go.
You're good.
All right. So you said, would you say 7 cases currently being worked on, and you think 2 of them have resulted in plea agreements? But
yep.
Update us one more time before we let you go.
Yeah, sure. So the 2 cases for the convictions or whatever, again, remember it's New York. If this was North Carolina, they'd probably get prison pretty easily. But it's not the DA's fault. But they ended up getting sex offender registry.
Status, yeah.
Yep, no internet whatsoever. They get caught on the internet, straight to prison. No plea agreements or bargains once you plea out to a charge, especially a felony charge. And these are felonies that will stick with them for the rest of their lives, of course, too. As for the other
in New
7,
York, I think the sex offender registry, is that a lifetime registry?
I'm not 100% sure.
I thought it was,
but
yeah, okay. It's a significant amount of time if it's not lifetime.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just glad, like, at the end of the day, if you think about it like this, I'm nobody. I'm not the police. I'm just an, average Joe, just regular citizen. And for an investigation that I conducted to even end up with these people ending up on paper for their actions is just awesome, I think. And it shows me that we're moving in the right direction. We just need to get everybody on board. I think if every single DA was on the same page, or even just talk to each other or talk to the ones that were working on cases like these, maybe they could get a pretty good strategy together instead of all having different strategies. Do it the same way.
Let me ask you, will you react to the claim that this is a form, and I do think there's a point to be made here that this is a form of vigilantism, right? You're not a law enforcement person. Will you react to that criticism?
No, sir. I'm not a vigilante. A vigilante is someone that takes the law into their own hands and does something illegal. What I do is I'm just collecting data and information and turning that over to the police and working with the police if they need me to help them catch these individuals and if they want me to interview them. Vigilante is somebody that does something illegal. I've never done anything illegal in any of these investigations, and everything I'm doing is within the bounds of the law. So therefore, calling me a vigilante or, someone else like me that's doing what I'm doing is not the proper word for it. I'm an investigative journalist.
Fair enough.
So
that's a good point. Another thing I wanted to ask: how many convictions and cases you've been involved with now? What are we up to?
Oh God. Well, the total amount of catches that I'm up to now is 185 in a year and a half. That, of course, is 8 or something states. I'd have to sit down and get a specific number on convictions. I think now I'm up to 13 or 14. But you got to keep in mind, a year and a half, a lot of these felony type cases in certain places take a couple years usually to get a conviction. They just keep pushing court dates out. But I'll say this, I know Atlantic City, New Jersey, we're sitting at 45 catches, and 42 or 41 of them were all charged and arrested. And I know Atlantic City, we got a lot of plea deals out of there. And I also know that before I even went there to do decoy work, that they already had convictions from other teams from Colorado, New York, I believe South Carolina, Ohio. So that's one state alone.
Yeah.
I know North Carolina, one of my arrests, actually the biggest bond I've ever gotten on one of these cases was $1.5 million on a predator.
Wow.
And then we just had a case there where we caught a repeat sex offender. Like, he was already on the registry when I caught him. And he ended up getting 2 years in prison. So, lifetime registry, too.
Last question.
Sure.
You said 180-something cases?
185.
Any women?
Yeah, so there was a trans woman one time, if, I don't know if that counts or not, but then there was one female. It was a couple. So it was a female, and it was her husband, or I think fiance. That was Atlantic City. That's actually on my Odyssey, that catch, if people want to see it. So yeah, one female. But hey, there's a lot of females out there that are. It's just I think they're smarter than the men are about it. But actually,
interesting.
It's kind of an interesting topic. I have somebody that I know that was sexually abused by a female when he was growing up, and he loves when predator catchers. He follows a lot of groups like myself, and he loves watching and finding or when we find a female that's trying to do it, because to him it makes him feel like he's getting justice somehow. But yeah, no, it happens.
Cameron Decker, once again, give us your social media handles. We want you to stay safe out there, and for those who want to follow along or stay updated on this stuff, the best place to follow you.
Sure. So on YouTube, which I don't keep them saved there. We just do the live exposures on YouTube, and then they get deleted because YouTube is.
Well, what are you on Facebook? It's just Cameron Decker.
Yeah, it's just Cameron Decker. Look for the profile picture and the cover picture are both the same. It just says Shield. Looks like that.
Gotcha. It's like a neon blue and pink sign that says Shield in the photo.
Yeah, that's the best place, I think, Facebook, because that's where actually the catches stay when we complete them. So.
Sure. Thank you for coming in this morning, and appreciate you for trying to expose some of these perverted people who are looking to do some really disgusting things with kids. So.
No, I do you mind if I say one more?
Go
thing?
right ahead.
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna put my email out here real quick.
Okay.
If people have trouble finding me or whatever, this way that they can directly email me themselves if they have questions. But this is more goes out to the district attorney himself and the guy running for DA that's supposed to take over in Oneida County coming up. Which good luck to him. I would ask them to please reach out to me so I can set up a meeting with them in private. I don't feel like I need to discuss, what we talk about in private, but I would at least like to hear their point of view and their concerns. And is there a way that I can do something different to help with their concerns? So my email is.
Go ahead. Give your email.
Yeah. So my email is web, pred, like as in predator, PRED, patrol, PATROL @gmail.com. So it's webpredpatrol@gmail.com.
So in other counties, it sounds like you work with them in advance before you do a confrontation.
100%. And that's typically how I do it now.
A couple of the cases you highlighted locally, there was a confrontation and then the police were called. Is that right?
Yeah, it's just because Utica PD, the Oneida County Sheriff's Office, the agencies here just aren't willing to work with me in that manner to where we're going together. Everything's more organized. But it's also, too, you got to keep in mind, Utica's a pretty big city. Oneida's a pretty big county. Delaware County is a very rural county. One of the police departments there stops working at 7 p.m. So if I don't get a catch before 7 p.m., then it's the state police that are going to be helping me out. So
interesting. Cameron Decker, thanks for your time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me on.
Have a great day. We have to move on, and I want to apologize because he's been on the line holding with us for a few minutes. It's Detective Shane Riolo, Rome Police Department, and he's talking to us about this week's Wanted Person of the Week. Good morning, Detective. I apologize for the delay.
Good morning. No problem.
Tell us about this week's Wanted Person of the Week.
All right. So the Rome PD's Wanted Person of the Week is Ethan R. Myers. He's a 20-year-old male, approximately 6'1", 235 pounds. Myers is wanted on 2 Rome City Court arrest warrants. The first arrest warrant is for assault in the third degree. The second is also for assault in the third degree, as well as endangering the welfare of a child. These charges stem from two separate incidents involving disputes that occurred in September of 2022. Myers' last known address is on State Route 26 in Rome. He's also wanted by the New York State Police on a separate harassment warrant.
All right. So we want to remind everybody that if they submit information through Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers, there is a financial reward that may be available. Is that correct?
Yep. Yeah, possibly.
Possibly.
Yep.
All right.
It's all anonymous. So
100% anonymous. You can get more information on Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers on our website. Again, the 100% anonymous tip line, 1-866-730-TIPS. That's TIPS. Again, you can find that number on our website. Also, www.mohawkvalleycrimestoppers.com. And you can get a look each week at the Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers Most Wanted Person of the Week. Just go to WIBX950.com. Again, this week it is 20-year-old, I don't have the first name here, Myers. What's the first? Ethan Myers. And again, you can find a photo and a description of the charges against him on our website, WIBX950.com. I apologize for the delay. Thank you so much for waiting.
no problem at all. Thank you.
Have a great day. WIBX News Time is 7:48. We're a bit behind here. We'll take a quick time out. We'll come back with more. First News, Keeler in the morning on WIBX.
Hi, this is Tom Cole from Gates Cole Insurance with exciting news. We're expanding with a couple of new offices in our area. One new location is Tall Pines Insurance in Boonville. They're another independent insurance agency that takes pride in making customers happy. That fits our culture at Gates Cole perfectly. Here's Greg Lee from the newest Gates Cole location, Tall Pines Insurance in Boonville.
The reason why I got into insurance was I wanted to allow my father the opportunity to retire and give back to my community. You know, we had the Boonville fire that wiped out a large area down here for us a few years ago, and so we showed up at the fire. You know, we were right there, ground zero with our insureds, who made sure that they were taken care of quickly. You know, we were able to get people the money that they needed to cover their expenses from that loss.
For insurance for your home, auto, business, and just about everything else, trust your local independent insurance agency, Gates Cole Insurance, proudly representing Finger Lakes Fire and Casualty Company of Trumansburg, New York.
Let's face it, talking about life insurance is never easy. But after we watched a close friend lose her husband with no insurance, we decided that wasn't going to happen to our family.
Yeah, but shopping for life insurance can be almost as difficult as talking about it.
But then we heard about Ethos Life Insurance. They're a new kind of life insurance, built for people on a busy schedule who don't have time for unnecessary doctor's visits, fine print, or hidden fees. You know, who want to keep it simple.
I couldn't believe how easy it was. We answered a few basic questions, and within minutes, we had an estimate of what it would cost and what sort of policy made sense for us.
I never imagined a life insurance could be so affordable.
And accessible.
The peace of mind knowing that our future is secure, it just removes a lot of the fear around getting older and...
Yeah, the unexpected.
I'm glad we talked about it.
I'm glad we went with ethoslife.com.
Go to getethos.com now for your free estimate. That's getethos.com. Getethos.com.
John and Marie heard about Mattress Express's newest promotion where you simply stop in, perform a simple comfort test, and get a prepaid $25 Visa card. They went to Mattress Express's location in New Hartford on Commercial Drive next to Pet Supplies Plus. They tried Tempur-Pedic. They tried Stearns & Foster. They tried the 9 different purple mattresses. They loved them all. They settled on the Q9 King number bed by Instant Comfort in a flex head. John liked his side firm. We set it to 40, elevated his head and feet, said he'd never been more comfortable. Marie liked her side softer. She was an 18. What a difference. Elevated her head a little higher, her feet a little less. They said it was like they were each in their own custom bed. They qualified and signed up for the 5 years, no interest, no money down, did not give us a nickel up front. They, for their luxury rewards, selected a 75-inch flat screen TV. Hurry, this is a limited time offer. Come to any Mattress Express, perform a simple comfort test, and get a $25 prepaid Visa card.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, it is First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX. Bill is back next week after the Labor Day holiday. It is 7:52. So yesterday we ran out of time. We were looking to do a free money question of the day yesterday, but we got short on time because Andrew and I would not stop talking. So we're going to do 2 free money questions today. Let's do one of them now. 315-736-0186. What caller, Smitty, are we looking for?
Caller 4.
Caller 4, 315-736-0186 for $100, 100 Hobica dollars. Give us a call. We'll take caller 4 right now for your chance to win from the Hobica Law Firm, Joseph and Andrew Hobica. And, of course, the way we do these contests is even when you don't win, you still win. The consolation prize is the Utica All-in-One Food and Fun gift card. It's a $25 gift card, good at places like Aquavino, Babes, 72, Taylor and the Cook, and the concession stands at the Adirondack Bank Center. You have a chance to win simply by calling and listening to the program each and every weekday morning. 315-736-0186. And then, as I mentioned, we will follow up with a second question of the day coming up next hour. Coming up next hour as well, we'll talk with Blaise Faggiano, the head coach of the football program at Utica University. Believe it or not, their season begins on Saturday, and they had a great year last year. And we'll talk to Blaise, recap some of that, see how many members of the program are coming back for another year at Utica, and we will preview this upcoming season as well. Smitty, do we have our contestant?
Yeah, John in Bridgewater on line 1.
Oh, this is John in Bridgewater. Hey, John, how you doing? John, can you hear me?
Hey, how you doing, man?
What's going on, John? It's good to hear you this morning.
Good to hear Andrew yesterday on the air.
Well, I think he's going to be back tomorrow.
Really?
I think Andrew's got some travel plans this weekend, but he
Right.
did tell me that he would stop in at least for most of the show tomorrow.
Awesome.
So yeah, it was good to have Andrew back as well and share a couple
yeah, it was good.
laughs with him. All right, so John, here's your question. Let me make sure I got my my bet up here. Let's see. Let me slide this over. I got too many buttons and screens and mice in front of me. Let's see, make sure that's on. All right, John, I want to give you $100 here. All right, here's your question. On this date, in 1997, Princess Diana was tragically killed in an automobile crash. Where did that happen? Where did that happen? Ready, go.
In the tunnel.
Where?
Oh gosh. It was in a tunnel.
Yes, I believe it was in a tunnel in Paris, France.
Oh.
In Paris, France is where it happened.
Well.
Princess Diana, just 36 years old. She died on August 31st of 1997, and the story was what? She was being chased by paparazzi who wanted photos of her, if I'm not mistaken.
Dang it. So that should be close enough, man. It was in a tunnel.
In the tunnel? In the tunnel? I'm sorry.
In
I
the
should have
tunnel.
said what iconic city also it happened in, but Paris,
Well,
France
that
was
wasn't
the answer.
The question.
It
not
was
gonna
the
argue
question.
with you.
Okay, all
But
right.
it happened in the tunnel.
It happened in the tunnel. You are right about that.
All right.
John, thanks for playing.
All right, buddy. Hey, have a good one.
You too. 315-736-0186. You know, Bill is much more polished when it comes to asking these questions. I should I need to do a better job at drilling down and specifically in some cases what it is that I'm looking for. 315-736-0186 if you want to chime in on anything we discussed this hour. As I mentioned, next hour we'll talk with Blaise Faggiano from Utica University Football. He is the head coach and they are coming off, I believe, what was the best season in program history. So we'll talk to Blaze next hour. Also, we'll talk to Eben Brown to get the latest on the hurricane in Florida. And John Decker, the only member of the White House press corps who has a law degree, the only attorney in the White House press corps. We chat with John Decker each week, and he is from Gray TV. We'll talk to him coming up at the end of next hour. WIBX News Time, 7:57. Stay tuned next hour as well. We'll give you a chance to win $100 from the Hobica Law Firm as well. Stay tuned for that. It's First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX 950 AM and 106.9 FM.
Cliff's Local Market is now hiring.
As a locally owned growing family business, there's a lot of opportunity for me to progress in my career here. And it feels like I'm a part of a big family.
I'm so glad I joined the Cliffs team. The benefits are great too. I can even get dental and vision as a part-time employee. But I really like the employee meal discount.
Seeing all of my local customers each day and being able to put a smile on their faces is what I most enjoy about working at Cliffs.
Come join our team.
Apply at cliffslocalmarket.com/careers.
It's the 85th Annual New York State Trappers Convention and Sportsman Show, August 31st through September 2nd at the Herkimer County Fairgrounds in Frankfort. The show features a Friday night auction, a Saturday night can raffle, daily demonstrations, crafters and artisans, flea market, gun and treasure chest raffle, great food and camping too. Admission is $10, good for all 3 days. 16 and under are free, service members free on Saturday. The New York State Trappers Convention and Sportsman Show, August 31st through September 2nd at the Herkimer County Fairgrounds in Frankfort.
Hi, I'm Jill Hayes.
And I'm Scott Hayes from New York Sash.
You know, Scott, saving money feels great.
Oh, no.
And saving 50%? That's just incredible.
What did you buy?
What? Nothing. I'm talking about the New York Sash 50% off sale and how right now, for a limited time, we're offering 50% off the installation on every New York Sash window.
That's right. They're energy efficient, they're beautiful, they come with a lifetime warranty, and they're all on display at our Idea and Design Center, so you can browse at your convenience with no pressure. And if you have questions, we'll be happy to help you choose the perfect windows for your home.
And you can get them installed at half the cost.
Replace one window, two windows, a whole house full of windows, and save 50% on the installation.
It happens once a year and it ends Monday. Get 50% off the installation at New York Sash.
We're open Monday through Saturday, so call us this week or visit our Idea and Design Center on Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro.
And let our family take care of your family.
Go with your gut. Your dog's immune system is based in the gut. A diet lacking in nutrients can cause itching, scratching, and a weak immune system. However, there is a solution. DINOVITE, Dinovite.
It took a grand total of 2 weeks. The dog stopped itching, the hair stopped falling out.
Try Dinovite for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Learn more at dinovite.com/radio.
Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dinovite.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica, Rome, W295DI Utica, Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
Italia is moving out to sea. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. It's a tropical storm now, flooding parts of the Carolinas after inundating Florida's Gulf Coast with storm surge.
Motel we have here in my house, 4 feet underwater. So you go inside my house and it looks like, the couch is where the refrigerator was and the refrigerator is where the couch was.
He's in Cedar Key. Idalia first hit land as a powerful hurricane a bit north of there in Keaton Beach.
The good news in this neighborhood is that everyone we've talked to here said they heeded the warnings and got out. But the damage to their homes is immense.
Fox Business's Grady Trimble standing in front of an obliterated home.
And today, Governor DeSantis, as well as the FEMA administrator, will tour the damage here. They say some of the homes and businesses here will not be able to be used for weeks, if not months.
Almost everyone's out of power in the Keaton Beach area. There are 300,000 outages, Florida to the Carolinas. 2 car crash deaths reported in Florida. A man was killed by a falling tree in Georgia. At least 73 people are dead in South Africa after a fire engulfed a 5-story building where homeless people and squatters had been living.
The Johannesburg Public Safety Commissar telling reporters,
I'm sort of traumatized.
It's a bad scene. There are bent bodies beyond the recognition.
More than 50 people were hurt, some from hurling themselves out the windows of the building to escape the flames.
Fox's Jack Callahan. Republican Senate Leader Mitch McConnell will consult a doctor after he froze up again, speaking to reporters for the second time in a month, standing, staring straight ahead, saying nothing after being asked a question until an aide stepped in. A McConnell spokesperson says the 81-year-old felt lightheaded but feels fine. President Biden, who is 80 and has faced questions about his age too, reacted.
Mitch is a friend, as you know, not a joke. We always, I know people don't believe that's the case, but we have disagreements politically, but he's a good friend.
America's listening to Fox News.
Think identity theft won't happen to you? Think again. There's a new victim every 3 seconds in the U.S., over 15 million this year alone, and many don't even know they're victims. LifeLock alerts you to identity threats you could miss, even when you monitor your credit. If your identity is stolen, your dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft, but everyone can save up to 25% off their first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Identity theft protection starts here.
Major phone carriers make you sign contracts with rigid data plans to trap you into a kind of forced phonogamy. Sounds pretty insecure if you ask me. At Consumer Cellular, we believe in a more consensual and healthy form of phonogamy, free of contracts and more flexible to your data needs. This way, you stick around not because we force you to with contracts and fees, but because you love our phone plans. Like ardently love our phone plans. Phonogamously. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1-888-FREEDOM.
All right, we have some morning sunshine. We haven't seen the sun in a couple of days. We are at 54 degrees. WIBX news time is 8:03. This news update is brought to you by Clinton Tractor, the leader in service, celebrating 70 years in business, 3 generations and counting. You can visit them online at clintontractor.net. Well, a Utica man faces several charges after police say he got a ride to the Oneida County Jail and then began slashing the tires of employees in the parking lot. That's according to Sheriff Rob Masciel, who said after catching a ride via state police on Tuesday, Jeremy Ibanez allegedly became upset for some reason, pulled out a knife, and began slashing the tires. He was arrested very soon after. Officials now say they believe that Ibanez had malicious intent the entire time, but believe he intentionally misled troopers into thinking they were giving a courtesy ride to a pedestrian in the rain. Ibanez being held in the county jail on $2,500 cash bail and $10,000 bond. He faces 5 counts of criminal mischief in the 4th degree, 6 counts of criminal tampering, and 1 charge of attempted criminal mischief in the 4th degree. More on that story at WIBX950.com. New York State Police Computer Crime Unit in Troop D, Homeland Security Investigations, and the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force have concluded a joint investigation with the arrest of a Camillus man. Authorities charging 53-year-old Raymond Spittler with 5 counts of promoting a sexual performance by a child and 5 counts of possession of a sexual performance by a child. Both are Class D felonies under New York State law. You saw something in the sky. Sure you did. Well, more and more New Yorkers claim they've seen a UFO. So far this year, there have been 80 new reports. What will the rest of 2023 bring? The Empire State has always seemed to be a hot spot for alien activity. We had the infamous incident in 1974 when John Lennon reported seeing a bright alien craft hovering over his Manhattan penthouse. You can see the list of New York's 25 most mysterious UFO sightings. Just head to our website at WIBX950.com. And headed west a little bit to Onondaga County, where officials say after being delayed because of poor weather, aerial sprays are planned tonight to try to eliminate mosquitoes infected with eastern equine encephalitis. The health department in Onondaga County says they will be spraying the Cicero Swamp and surrounding areas in an attempt to kill off the insects. Mosquitoes with triple E were discovered in the county for the first time this year, just several weeks ago. Those who live in the spray areas are being notified of the spraying via a reverse 911 call. WIBX News Time is 8:06. Off to a nice start. Sunny skies, but a chilly 53 degrees. Here's what we can expect later today.
I'm Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint in the WIBX Weather Center. Today, a good deal of sunshine, cool but very pleasant afternoon, a high near 70. Tonight, clear sky turning chilly, lows mid and upper 40s. And Friday, mostly sunny, warmer afternoon, a high of 78. For more on your local forecast, tune to Eyewitness News at 6 on WUTR. I'm meteorologist Craig Flint on WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM.
Moving to sports, the Mets got a win over the Texas Rangers last night, 6-5 in 10 innings. The hero last night was DJ Stewart. 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, and that included a game winner as he was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded. Jeff Brigham was credited with the victory. The Mets now 61-73. They're off today. They host the Seattle Mariners to start a 3-game series tomorrow night at Citi Field. The Yankees have won 3 straight games. They beat the Tigers 6-2 in Detroit last night. Garrett Cole picked up the victory, striking out 7, allowing 2 runs over 6 innings. Ian Hamilton secured his second save of the season. He struck out 5 over 3 scoreless innings of relief. Home runs from Gleyber Torres, DJ LeMahieu, and Giancarlo Stanton helped the Yankees to victory. They're now 65-68, still dead last in the AL East. They look to sweep the 4-game series against the Tigers this afternoon at Comerica Park. Some friction in football. The Giants are upset with Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Defensive end Jihad Ward did not like the way his interaction with Aaron Rodgers was portrayed on the TV show Hard Knocks, saying that his actions stemmed from disgust with an illegal block. That block was laid by Jets wide receiver Randall Cobb. It left Giants safety Bobby McCain with a concussion. Players were shown laughing in the Jets huddle after Rodgers called out Cobb for the blindside block. Ward said after yesterday's practice that it's preseason and all that stuff, and you're going to get some reaction like that. It's cool, though, he said. That's how they roll. I think we play them soon. It is what it is. The Giants and Jets will actually meet on October 29th in regular season action at MetLife Stadium. It'll be interesting to see what comes out of that game. Team USA in basketball, the FIBA World Cup. The first round came to a conclusion with Team USA blowing out Jordan 110-62 at the Mall of Asia Arena in the Philippines. Also wanted to mention in sports, and this is another story in the baseball world, a disturbing one. Tampa Bay Rays shortstop Wander Franco now dealing with more complaints that he was engaged in a relationship with a minor. ESPN reports that a special prosecutor in the Dominican Republic is investigating Franco after 3 girls alleged they had relationships with the 22-year-old as minors. A third girl has yet to speak formally with authorities. Major League Baseball placed Franco on paid administrative leave last week after social media posts emerged claiming the inappropriate relationships. Franco signed an 11-year, $182 million contract with Tampa Bay back in 2021. WIBX News Time is 8:09. The NFL season just around the corner, but even closer still is college football. In fact, Utica University kicks off on Saturday at 12 o'clock. They'll face the University of Rochester. We'll talk with Blaise Faggiano coming up in just a few minutes. Also, Smitty, Syracuse in action on Saturday as well. You're still debating what sweatshirt you're going to wear at home watching the game?
Yeah, because they're playing Colgate.
So I looked up some stats on Colgate Syracuse. Off the top of my head, they are 31-31 with 5 ties. So the all-time record for the two teams, it's 31-31-5. But Syracuse has won the last several games, and they're usually blowout wins.
Yeah.
I want to say the last 3 games combined, the final score totals were 120-27 or something like that.
I saw an interview with Coach Babers yesterday, and he's hoping that Syracuse is up big so he can take the starters out because he doesn't want them to get hurt, especially the first game. And Garrett Schrader is going to be playing after having off-season shoulder surgery, so he's all 100% healthy to go against Colgate on Saturday, 4 o'clock.
Speaking of Syracuse quarterbacks, former Syracuse quarterback Tommy DeVito is signed with the New York Giants. I guess he's on the practice squad?
Yeah.
He's on their practice squad. And defensive end Chris Slayton, former SU Orange, has struck an agreement with the Green Bay Packers. DeVito finished 6th in passing among quarterbacks during the preseason. Regarding Chris Slayton, this is the 7th practice squad that he'll be on since he was drafted in 2019.
So if Tyrod Taylor goes down and Danny Jones is unhealthy, they can bring Tommy DeVito off the practice squad to be the second string.
Yeah.
DeVito was awesome for Syracuse.
Yeah, I'm not. I've said this before. You've heard me say this many times. Not a big believer in Danny Jones. I hope I'm wrong. Really hope I'm wrong. WIBX News Time is 8:12. Stay tuned. Still to come, another chance to win $100 from the Hoboika Law Firm. We're making up for yesterday when we ran out of time. So 2 questions today. I want to read a couple of comments here this morning that have come in. Bill Morehouse says, you got to pay the guy. You said, where did it happen? It was in the tunnel. I meant what country? I'm sorry I didn't specify that. Nagel says, so we ran down the list from the Social Security Administration of the oddest names that children born in 2022 have received. And there were some unique names on there, if you will. Nagel chiming in this morning to say the nice thing about pets is they don't know how stupid some of their names are, which is true. You can name your dog just about anything, and they will come with a smile, licking and panting all the same, whether it's a traditional pet name or a bizarre pet name. And Jeff Hart's chiming in this morning as well to say, I have to say, Cameron provided a more cognitive argument this time, and he sounded less like a vigilante. Do I think he's dangerous? A little bit, but he does sound like he is more informed and involved with law enforcement than he's presented himself to be in the past. So some comments there as well. Also, Lance and Lee chiming in this morning.
Oh, boy.
Uh-oh.
What's he saying this morning?
He says, regarding Cameron, he said he seems to catch multiple people in a short time, and you hardly hear of any local success stories from local law enforcement agencies. All right, and John in Bridgewater, he was the contestant. He says, hey, Jeff, you asked where, not what country. You can't change the rules because you didn't tell the question. You didn't ask the question properly. So do we have a controversy here?
I don't know, Jeff. You asked the question. I just take the caller.
Let me think about this here. I don't think
you had an elected city official say that you were wrong, Jeff. So,
look, I could understand if it was like if I was looking for I-87 or I-90 or State Route 4 or something like that. But when I asked where did it happen, did you think I meant what kind of a road? Or you don't want to say. You're buddies with John, so you don't want to say that. You thought I meant what country.
John is a buddy of the show.
Let me think. 315-736-0186 if you want to chime in on that. Coming up in just a minute, we'll talk with Blaise Fagiano, Utica University, coming off its best football season ever. What's in store this year? We'll get a preview coming up after this.
Shop my truckload mattress sale going on right now at My Carl's. I have crazy low prices. Go check out the other stores. You'll come back to My Carl's. Plus same-day delivery at My Carl's New Hartford Shopping Center.
Paid for by government.com. Have you heard? Morgan's silver dollars are back for 2023. For the 100th anniversary, the U.S. Mint released the first legal tender Morgans in 100 years. They sold out instantly. Now, Morgan's silver dollars are back in 2023, minted in 99.9% pure silver, but only 275,000 coins were minted, and they will go fast. The entire market and experts agree this is a big deal and an amazing opportunity for both coin and silver buyers. Just call 1-800-973-9717 and you are guaranteed a 2023 brand new uncirculated 99.9% pure silver Morgan dollar. But with limited quantities, you must call now. To learn more, call 1-800-973-9717. Plus, you'll receive a free bonus Patriots pack, new and improved, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-973-9717 now to secure your new 2023 Morgan Silver Dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-973-9717.
The Community Foundation of Herkimer and Oneida Counties is your community foundation. Together, we've invested $125 million in the community, thanks to people, families, and businesses that want to give back and build a brighter future. And you don't have to have big bucks to make a big difference. Join us as we invest in the future of our community. Learn more about your community foundation at foundationhoc.org.
Heritage Logging and Tree Removal is your trusted tree removal specialist. With today's extreme weather conditions and new invasive species wreaking havoc on your trees, you need to protect your valuable property and your precious loved ones. As soon as you suspect any problem, call and Heritage Logging will be there to assess your trees and give 24-hour emergency services. For all your tree care needs, call or text 315-796-2941
or go online to heritagelogging.com and Facebook at Heritage Logging.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE, 855-51-BIBLE.
It's your turn to stay and play at Turning Stone Resort Casino. Enjoy award-winning hotels, dining, and live entertainment. Play the newest slots and classic table games. Check out the state's largest poker room. And don't miss our world-famous bingo hall. Turning Stone is the perfect gaming getaway. And the next big winner might be you. Turning Stone Resort Casino. It's your turn.
Hun, we need to stop putting off getting life insurance.
I know. It's just been so busy, and I'm sure the cost is out of our budget.
Well, Jen told me that they got a $500,000 term life insurance policy from Ethos for less than $23 a month. All online with no complicated forms and no medical exam. All they had to do was answer a few health questions.
Wait, no medical exam and all online?
I know, right? It's not easy to think about, but if something happened to you, James and I would be...
Okay, I get it. Let's get a quote from Ethos right now. Wow, you were right. There's no medical exam, and Ethos makes the whole online process fast and easy. And look at these rates and coverage options. It's great protection and totally fits our budget.
Ethos. They've removed all the barriers from getting coverage. Go to checkethos.com to get your free online quote. That's checkethos.com. Quote based on a healthy, non-smoking 30-year-old male with a 20-year term policy. Rates may vary.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, 315-736-0186 if you want to chime in here. We have a special guest in studio. It's Blaise Fagiano from Utica University, the head football coach coming off an excellent season last year at 10-2. They went to a bowl game. Let me see if I got to put you on camera here because I love those hats, man. I love the camo. The camo's in. I got a camo Mets hat on
from
today.
Our Veterans Day game, our GPO.
Federal Credit Union, Citron Veterans Day game, which we're bringing back again this year.
That's awesome. Everything kicks off on Saturday. You jump right into it, man.
It does. 2023 is here. It's crazy how quickly things go. And, we're coming off 2.5 weeks of training camp, and the guys worked really hard and welcoming the new freshmen to the university. Obviously, we had a huge freshman class this year, which is great for the university and the community as an institution, let alone in the football program. And just a lot of positive energy going on over at the university these days.
And you're full of it, by the way, full of positive energy, man. You always come in, big smile on your face, good handshake, positive vibes, good energy. I can see why the players are motivated to play for you, because I'd have to imagine if they came out lazily, there'd be some running and other things that have to do.
Yeah, that wouldn't happen.
No, it wouldn't happen. Not on a Blaise Fagiano team.
There's not a better job. I coach college football. I get to work with young men, develop young men, get them going, and and it's crazy to think about this, Jeff. This is my 16th season.
Yeah, wow.
At the university, and then my guys have been teasing me that this is my 30th year of coaching college football, which is I was the young head coach. Where'd that go? Where did that go?
It was gone about 20 years ago.
No, some more gray hair, and I'm not the young head coach anymore. But certainly, the Mohawk Valley has been great to me and my family, and the university has been great. And looking forward to another season.
Yeah. So you said 2.5 weeks they've been on campus. That seems like a short training camp to ramp up to launch a season on Saturday.
It depends how you look at it. They're tired of hitting each other. They can't wait. We had a scrimmage last week out against Allegheny College, actually. It's been always a struggle getting a scrimmage. We met at Batavia High School, and Batavia, New York. It's like reminded me like a little Utica out there, right?
Yeah.
And we had a great time. They good host, and it was a good scrimmage for us. But certainly looking forward to getting into the season. Week one, U of R this Saturday. It's only a 2-hour drive, and admission is free at U of R.
Okay.
So if you're looking to get a sneak peek before our first home game, come out to U of R on Saturday, University of Rochester at 12 o'clock. Kickoff, and a bit of a homecoming for many of us. I'm from Rochester. Our offensive coordinator Jared Klaus is from Rochester. Our quarterback coach, who was our quarterback last year, Braden Zanilovich, is from Rochester. One of our grad assistants, Joey Lapani's dad, is a head coach out there, is from Rochester, and we probably have at least 20 guys on the team. So we're all looking forward to going back. They'll laugh. We'll call it the Rock. We're going back to the Rock this Saturday. So looking forward to that.
That's awesome. How many players from a great season last year? How many players returned this year?
Well, what's pretty wild, we have 36 seniors, and I would say, starters on both sides of the ball. It's like 8 or 9 starters on both sides of the ball. We certainly lost some great players.
Sure.
And Nate Palmer, All-American here, local VVS, and Jimmy Warren. Both those guys were, defensive or offensive and defensive players of the year, respectively, in the E8. But we're in this situation where we've had pretty consistent recruiting classes, and it's not a rebuild, it's a reload, and a lot of young guys are stepping up, and a lot of veterans are stepping up. And
sure.
When we went to the scrimmage, we only took 8 freshmen to the scrimmage. That kind of shows our depth of our upperclassmen, and that definitely helps. The upperclassmen not only teaching the freshmen how we do things, but not having to rely on the young guys yet. There's certainly some talented ones that might get some burn this year, and continuing. Again, more local guys all over the place. I know everyone will be watching Travis Decker from VVS out there at the wide receiver position. Nate's younger brother, Bryce, had an injury in camp, so we're hoping to have him back mid-season. Bryce Palmer, kind of Palmer 2.0. Palmer family's been great at the university. But everyone, I'm sure, wants to see the new starting quarterback and who that's going to be, and they get behind him. Our offensive line's been playing great, our running backs and tight ends. So we're pretty excited about this season.
You kick off on Saturday, again, on the road at the University of Rochester, and you said admission to the game is free, so if you want to head out there and check out the Pioneers as they kick off the 2023 season. Can you give us a couple more highlights of this season, promotional nights? You talked about the military appreciation and everything like that.
Yeah, what's wild, every one of our home games we have something going on. So to kick off, and I believe you'll start seeing commercials today or tomorrow, we have a new sponsor for our Believe Bowl. Which supports the Believe 271 Foundation and the great work that they do. And so it's going to be the Mastrovito Hyundai Believe Bowl. So kudos to Frank Mastrovito and all the folks at Mastrovito Hyundai. He's become a big sponsor at the university, sponsored Utica hockey last winter. And so we shot a commercial out on the turf a couple days ago that I think will be coming out. Everyone will see.
That's cool.
Local radio, local TV. And, the Believe 271 Foundation, you talk about like giving back locally. Brian McQueen and the board at Believe 271. I mean, over 108 families have received over $375,000 families that are fighting cancer, which crazy, and volunteer firefighters. So it's a game that our guys really enjoy. It's our big bowl game. Hey, what's your big game? It's the Believe Bowl. This year it happens to be, we like when it's the home opener. It's Orange Out, September 9th versus Moravian College. We have some new teams on the schedule. The Empire Eights is into a non-conference agreement with this new landmark conference. So our two new teams are Moravian and Lycoming, are teams we've never played before. So that's always an exciting start in those series. So we have our Believe Bowl game. We'll have our First Source Federal Credit Union U Sports Day. You wear your U Sports uniform, you get free admission to the game. We haven't really done anything for homecoming yet, so that's out there. If anyone's interested, give me a call.
Sure.
The homecoming weekend is still kind of open right now. But we have our GPO Federal Credit Union and Citron Veterans Day game. That's November 11th. And
That's right on Veterans Day.
Yeah, versus St. John Fisher. And, Jackie Warmuth does a great job working with the veterans at Citron, and the partnership that we've had with GPO has been tremendous. We had over 30 veterans at the game last year. They came out to practice, talked to our guys, and it's really a special event. That's certainly another big game that we look forward to. And then, GKG is now combined with some other local businesses. So our breast cancer awareness game, which really supports Real Men Wear Pink, which is something that I participate in with Melanie Francis and the American Cancer Society. This is a long one, but it's the Gilroy, Kernan and Gilroy Strategic Financial and Sullivan Contracting Breast Cancer Awareness Game. Okay. And so we're looking forward to that. At homecoming, it will be our AFCA Coach to Cure MD game, and we'll have John Piazzatino back. He's almost every year. I think he only missed 1 year. And John is the oldest living survivor has Duchenne muscular dystrophy, excuse me, because John would correct me if I pronounce it wrong. And talk about, we just like to have people that are just change agents around our players. Like John has been to the Capitol building and advocating for research on Duchenne, just like Brian McQueen and Believe 271 are there's literally New York state law that provides health insurance for volunteer firefighters because of our Believe 271 Foundation here in the area, right?
Really?
Yeah. How about that? So to have these types of people around our players, and as I talk to them about going out and being positive in their community and making change is just a win for the community and win for our football program.
Yeah, that is awesome. You talked about one of the new schools being Lycoming. Is that how you say that?
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, and I just looked it up, they're in Williamsport, PA, of course, where the Little League World Series just was.
Yes.
You'll be on the road. That's your third game. You're home for Curry, Hartwick, at SUNY Cortland. You mentioned the breast cancer awareness game, Gilroy, Kernan, and Gilroy, Strategic Financial, and Sullivan Contracting. That's against Morrisville State College on October 14th. You're on the road at Alfred, at SUNY Brockport, and then the Veterans Day game, which is actually on Veterans Day, November 11th. St. John Fisher University. That's always a big game on the schedule for you guys.
It is. The Morrisville, too. Morrisville's become a great local rival. Coach Raby's done a great job at Morrisville, and they had a winning season last year, went to the postseason. So, last year you had Morrisville went to a bowl game. Brockport was going to go to a bowl game and had just some awful weather situation, I think, that happened, and they had to cancel their game. We went to the NCAA tournament for the first time.
It was awesome.
And, we love all our folks at D3 football. And none of those young guys, none of us had us winning that game, right? But I think they kind of forgot that we were a 9-1 team from the Empire 8. And I say this all the time. The Empire 8 is one of the best conferences in the country in Division III. And if any of us are 9-1, we're probably pretty good, right?
Yeah.
It just happened to be us last year. It was a new name. And to go to Susquehanna, who was 11th in the country and 10-0, and I think Susquehanna was getting ready for Mount Union before our game. And to be able to go on the road and get that win, we've never been nationally ranked. We're always that team that's others receiving votes, right? So for a whole year, we were the last poll. They had to. It's funny. They put Susquehanna ahead of us, which is right. So we our program it's Utica against the world, right? Utica against the world. So the preseason poll, we're not in it. We're we are literally 26 out of 25, right?
Okay.
And our guys love it. All right, we got to go earn it. We got to
chip on the shoulder.
Yeah, we got to prove it every day. Certainly a chip on the shoulder. Yeah, but in a good way.
That's awesome. 10-2 last year. Excellent job. That was the first. Was it the first time you reached double-digit victories?
First time double-digit
and first time in the NCAA tournament.
First time in the NCAA's first NCAA victory. There is now a banner our second banner in our stadium that says NCAA.
That's
that was a
awesome.
big deal. I remember coming to Utica back in 2007. They had one winning season at that point, and there was no. We saw there are a lot of field hockey banners because we have this tremendous field hockey history, right? And we just worked and worked and worked, and we won our first bowl game against Ithaca. Next thing you know, we had our ECAC banner up there. Okay, that was a start.
Yeah.
And now there's an NCAA banner in there, Jeff, with lots of room for more years that we need to add on there.
Yeah, that is awesome, man. I'm telling you,
make history.
You bring so much energy, man, and such a positive vibe. We got to get you in here more often. You did bring something in when you came in this morning. Tell us what we've got over here.
We have a few things going on. We've got 4 separate. It's a tailgate pass to get into the 12th man tailgate with 4 season passes. So you got 4 sets of those, and I brought you a bunch of camp. These are official camp T-shirts that the guys wore. All right, and we have some things going on. If you want to join the 12th man, go on Facebook. It's online this year. A&P Master Imaging have taken that over for us, which I really appreciate that. So our 12th man booster club to get in the tailgate, support Utica football. You can join right online. They do a great job, but they'll be at the first game. And then a lot of our local businesses have stepped up, and we have all these tailgate sponsors where for a small amount they can have their logo on the scoreboard, they can have their product in the tailgate, and we're very fortunate to have some tailgate sponsors this year as a 12th man tailgate. If you have not been, you need to bring your family. It is a great, great time, and everyone that's gone for the first time is blown away with how big the tailgate is, the families that are there, the food for the kids. They're tailgating before the game, after the game. It's a great family atmosphere.
So let's do this. I'm going to steal one of those ticket packs for the staff here for Smitty and I. But we'll give away 3 of those tickets and the T-shirts. You're big with the Believe 271 Bowl, 271. So we're going to take callers 1, 2, and 7. And that's all you have to do. Callers 1, 2, and 7. You get a 4-pack of tickets. You get the tailgate ticket, and we'll hook you up with some T-shirts as well for Utica University football. Coach, great job as always. Great having you in.
Thanks for having me, Jeff.
Thanks for stopping.
Fear the Moose, man.
Fear the Moose. Blaze Fagiano, the head coach of Utica football. We're back with more Keeler in the morning right after this.
A Rottweiler named Whiskey, with hours to live, brought back to full health. A terrier named Snoopy, paralyzed in all 4 legs, who ran and played again within months. These dogs are known as Marty's Miracles. Dogs brought back to health by Dr. Marty Goldstein.
I've helped countless dogs thrive with one simple concept. Your dog needs a high-meat diet, similar to what their ancestors ate in the wild.
Called the Miracle Worker by Forbes magazine, he's now created a premium dog food for you called Nature's Blend. It's the easiest way to support your dog's easy digestion, nourished skin, playful energy, and most importantly, their healthy, full life. For a limited time, save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and get free premium dog treats. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or text DEAL to 511-511. Text DEAL to 511-511.
I'm so confident your dog will love it. Your order is backed with a 90-day guarantee.
All pets are unique. Your pet's results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply.
At Mike Carl's, we've cleaned out our warehouses to make room for new arrivals. You save big, 50% off high-end mattresses, plus same-day delivery. Mike Carl's in the backside of the New Hartford Shopping Center.
Hun, we need to stop putting off getting life insurance.
I know. It's just been so busy, and I'm sure the cost is out of our budget.
Well, Jen told me that they got a $500,000 term life insurance policy from Ethos for less than $23 a month. All online with no complicated forms and no medical exam. All they had to do was answer a few health questions.
Wait, no medical exam and all online?
I know, right? It's not easy to think about, but if something happened to you, James and I would be...
Okay, I get it. Let's get a quote from Ethos right now. Wow, you were right. There's no medical exam. And Ethos makes the whole online process fast and easy. And look at these rates and coverage options. It's great protection and totally fits our budget.
Ethos. They've removed all the barriers from getting coverage. Go to checkethos.com to get your free online quote. That's checkethos.com. Quote based on a healthy, non-smoking 30-year-old male with a 20-year term policy. Rates may vary.
Do you feel like your current checking account just isn't working for you anymore? Maybe monthly fees are cutting into your already tight budget. Or maybe you're looking for more convenience with additional bells and whistles that allow you to accomplish more with less work. Whatever your reason, it might be a great time for you to check out the lineup of accounts at Adirondack Bank. From no-frills basic accounts to paperless high-yield accounts, we're sure to have the perfect solution for your needs. We also offer a large selection of extras such as customizable debit cards, electronic statements, online banking and bill pay, mobile banking, and mobile deposit. We also have a great client services team ready to answer your questions with our live chat. Visit our website at www.adkbank.com. Use the checking comparison tool and see which options are best for you. That's adkbank.com. Member FDIC.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
WIBX News Time is 8:37. Coming up, we'll have another chance for you to win from the Hobica Law Firm, the free money question of the day. We did 2 today because we missed yesterday. We are going to shift focus here for a moment. Joining us is Eben Brown from Fox News Radio for the latest on the hurricane. Good morning, Eben. How are you?
Good morning.
What is the latest? I thought I caught a bit of good news that it's headed out to sea. What can you tell us?
Well, it is. It is the center of the storm. The eye has crossed the Carolina coast back to the Atlantic, but the other half of the storm has to make its way off the coastline. So those folks who are in the Carolinas have been getting deluged with rain, still getting some pretty powerful tropical storm force winds. And so they're facing flooding and power outages and things like that. And with the storm heading out to sea, it'll make its way towards Bermuda, and it'll be able probably to keep its tropical storm status. It's not going to dissipate. So it'll be a problem for the folks in Bermuda in a few days. But it wreaks some pretty good havoc from North Florida through Georgia and into the Carolinas, and even that rain reaching into Virginia. So this is a pretty big storm, and it's done a pretty good number for sure.
Hurricane Idalia, do we have death toll numbers so far? This is something I always look at. Unfortunately, this is kind of how we gauge.
From what we're able to tell, and I'm focused mostly on Florida. That's where we got most of the information as of now. We have an incredibly low casualty count. I think as of last night anyway, there were 2 reported deaths, and it had to do with a traffic accident. We're not seeing like what we saw with Ian last year, where we had about 100 people who died. And that was a lot of people who chose not to evacuate when they were told to do so. It looks as if a lot of people really paid attention and evacuated and took that to heart. So we're seeing very few people needing post-storm rescue and an incredibly low number of fatalities, and that's a good thing.
That's absolutely a great thing. Eben Brown from Fox News, thanks for the update.
You got it.
Have a great day. That is Eben Brown reporting the latest on Hurricane Idalia. We now go to Mike and Schuyler, who I think wants to chime in on the free money question. What's up, Mike?
Yes, I did have a quick thought. When I heard you say it, my thought, I said Paris, France, but I knew it, and it's all about the wording, right? So,
yeah.
So I think now when you asked the question, did you say in which city did it happen?
I did not.
City?
I did not.
And I think that might be why that he probably could. I bet you if he knew the city, he would say that. But yeah, it's tough about that one. I think, but that's what my thoughts are. The perfect answer would have been in Paris, France, In the tunnel when
in
the
a tunnel.
paparazzi was following.
Yeah, you're right. But you're right. I didn't ask for the city. I just said where. Dave in Rome agrees with you. Of course, John in Bridgewater agrees with you. And Bill Morehouse, the city controller, agrees with you as well. So, Smitty, here's what we're going to do. Get John on the line. Get his info. We're going to hook up John with $100 from last hour.
I got his info already.
You got it. Give him a call. I'm sure he's still listening. We're going to hook up John with $100. Mike, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Have a great
I hope
day.
You have a good day, guys.
You too. That's Mike and Skyler chiming in. He also thought the wording of my question was unfair, and that based on how I asked the question, John in Bridgewater was close enough. So we are going to give John in Bridgewater $100 from the Hobica Law Firm. Take the gift card back, though. You got to take the gift card back. Bill's going to be angry with me when he comes back if I give everything away. 315-736-0186 if you want to chime in. Joined in studio now by Megan Dooley. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's good to have you in studio.
It's great to be here. Good morning, Jeff.
I saw you did something that I found very interesting, and in one of the cases it involved John Lennon. But you did something on UFOs in New York State. Tell us about it.
I did. With us getting closer to Halloween, of course, people start turning their attention towards the paranormal and also the Central New York's history with haunted history, Hotel Utica, the Tuxedo Man. But I turned my attention to the sky because we had that recent talk to the House subcommittee on defense about the potential for alien life being confirmed, that there's a secret government program that has taken crashed crafts and has recreated them into our own technology. So
like a reverse engineering type of a thing?
Exactly, reverse engineering. And so the article that I did is, okay, so if this really is the direction our country is going in, I'll admit, I'm a news person. I'm open to everything. So if it hasn't been concretely disproven, I'm open to it. And so for New York, there has been about 80 UFO sightings reported so far in 2023, and we have, 3 or 4 months to go before the end of the year. Mm-hmm. So it's like a hotbed of UFO activity. And I know I sound witchy woo-woo, so I wanted to go through each and every individual report and find the craziest ones. And one on Valentine's Day, I think in Beacon, the report started with, I don't know what it was, but I'm scared.
That does sound scary. Listen, some of these accounts are, I think, more believable than others. They're more interesting than others. I think sometimes someone might see something in the sky and they don't know what it is, so they automatically assume it's a UFO. But some of these are very detailed and intricate, and they scare me, some of them.
And some of them have photos, which I'm a Photoshop person, so of course you kind of look at these photos with a bit of skepticism.
Sure.
But a lot of them come from different people from across New York, and they're literally the same subject. So I don't know, maybe there's a secret Reddit where they're just like, okay, just use an orange Tic Tac and put it over your house. But again, I'm open to it.
Yeah, sure. So you can
there goes my credibility. Oh, she believes in aliens.
Well, I think more and more people do because of that congressional hearing that you referenced. I mean, they laid some things out there. And I'm trying to remember the term that they used. They said they had alien
remains or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
It was some kind of like, oh gosh, my word is escaping me right now, tip of the tongue, but I know exactly what you're going for. And it just meant like there was organic material that they were able to take from these crashes that didn't match any human genomes. So again, the testimony was compelling, but at the end of the day, most of the material that was presented to the House subcommittee was confidential. So not even the people on the subcommittee could review the evidence that was put forward. So the chances of us seeing these reports about the so-called secret government agency that is trying to actively suppress information about aliens while also reincorporating their technology, I mean, the fact that I am saying this, it makes me sound so silly, but it tells me that if there has been a movement, I guess since like the 1970s, or we go back to Roswell, that there has been a push from the American people saying, can you just tell us, are they real? Are they not? Are we safe? Are we alone in the universe? And I remember a friend of mine who's a mathematician, and of course we had the math brain on here a month ago.
The human calculator.
Human
Scott
calculator.
Flansburgh.
Yeah. If space is infinite, so I'll pose this to you, Jeff. If space is infinite, that means there's infinite solar systems, correct?
I guess.
And also, because there is a, quote, infinite amount of solar systems, wouldn't it be prudent to think that some of those solar systems have produced planets that are capable of sustaining life, such as planet Earth?
Probably.
And so, maybe, but again, the big joke is, maybe the aliens come down, they go to visit planet Earth because they go, ooh, interesting, intelligent life detected. And then they take a look around and they go, nope.
I'm out of here. I'm getting out of here. In addition to, and again, so remind us again what we can find. New York's 25 mysterious UFO sightings will make you believe aliens exist. You can find that on our website right now, WIBX950.com, or on the WIBX 950 mobile app. I think that and it's probably likely, if there's life beyond Earth on other planets, if they've visited Earth, I do think there's something with the oceans that they've delved into, or literally dove into bodies of water. Just because we can all see the sky, and there are, these UFO reportings and sightings, and again, you can read about those on our website. But the fact that so much of the oceans are unexplored, I just wonder what's down there. Like if they say that they have an alien craft that they found, or a piece of one, I just wonder if we really got to explore all of the ground floor of all the oceans, would we find some alien crafts down there?
I think the quote is, we have explored more of space than we have explored our oceans. And that we've only, I think the estimate was we've only explored 10% of our oceans. I know it was a really low number, and that is very interesting because the ocean's right there.
Right. And there is a story, and I'm going to mess up all the details, so I'll give some vague information. It had to do with, I believe, Lake Michigan, and a very credible 911 dispatcher who one night, and this was 25, 30 years ago, his phone's lit up with all these calls about these strange crafts in the sky, and there were very bright lights. And he was able to see their location over Lake Michigan, I believe, and there were 3 of them. And it's almost like they were using lights, almost like a light version of Morse code to communicate with each other. And then I think they all went into the water and weren't seen from again. And that freaks me out. And I actually think instead of looking at the sky sometimes, I actually think we should look into the water.
All right, let's go swimming.
I wonder what's in there. Also on our website, we talked with Oneida County Sheriff Rob Maschel earlier this week. He gave a bit of a warning. Can you kind of summarize what it is that he thinks parents should keep in mind as we approach the new school year?
Yeah, it's think before you share. I know it's back to school, and parents, I'm right there with you. It's so exciting when the kids are back in school. You get back a little bit more of that free time, and some of it is also celebrating the milestone of a first day of class. And it's been very popular for kids to hold up signs that say their name, their age, what grade they're going into, name of the teacher. The Oneida County Sheriff's Department says don't do that. That is a gold mine for predators, unfortunately. And it's crazy to think how different the world is than the one that we grew up in. Mm-hmm. And so while it would be great to share such sentimental photos, parents are now urged to think about the potential consequences and how that information could potentially be used against them or put a child's life at risk.
I think a couple of things to keep in mind. One, you can still share those photos via text message if you want grandma and grandpa to see them, right? Something
Absolutely.
like that. Or you can put private. You can make some photos private where only certain people can see that information. But keep in mind the information we're talking about. It might be your child's height, weight, eye color, hair color. In many cases, they're standing in front of the house, so they have the house address, what school, what grade, the teacher's name. You know, people will make these boards like a chalkboard, and it's got all this information listed right there. And who knows who gets to see that stuff if it's on a public setting.
I know, and I understand that. I have come across a couple of those photos myself from friends on Facebook, and they've put them public. And I understand that they think their kids are adorable. They want to share them with the world. And also, it comes from a place of innocence. They think that the unfortunate is not going to happen. And it is, and while it's great to think that we can live in a world like that, and I do hope we get to that point. Right now, the internet has been weaponized to embolden and empower the wrong kind of agents. And so the suggestion is, if you really want to share such photos of the kid holding up the sign so your friends and family can see, there's nothing wrong with blurring out the information on the board or putting like a heart emoji or something over it. And then you're able to have it not only for your personal records and then, like you said, to text it to grandparents, aunts, and uncles, but if you're going to put it online, you never know who's going to take that photo and save it. I mean, you and I have seen our fair share of crazy Reddit posts about people who will take other kids' photos online and pretend it's their kid just so they can get some kind of validation from strangers on the internet. And
it's weird.
Again, it's like you have to have a 360 approach to every single photo you put online. And I can tell you, as I'm an aunt to 4 kids, and my sister has asked me, if you ever put, because of my position on the radio.
Yeah.
And so I reach a wider audience. She says, if you ever do put photos of my kids on your social media, which again, as an aunt, I would love to share such moments. She says, please hide their identity. And I said, absolutely, I will do that for you because I don't want anything negative to happen to these adorable kids.
Megan, thank you so much. And you can read more on both of those articles and find much more news and information at WIBX950.com. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll check in maybe tomorrow with you as well. 315-736-0186. I've done it again. I've backed myself into a corner with time. So here's what we're going to do. Before we chat with John Decker of Gray TV, White House correspondent, 315-736-0186. We'll take caller 3 right now for our second free money question of the day. We'll do that coming back right after this on WIBX.
It's the Move to Mazda sales event, and it's going on right now at Steep Pawnee Mazda. This is Bill Keeler. You can enjoy 2.9% APR financing up to 36 months on new 2023 Mazda CX-30s, CX-5s, and CX-50s. Enjoy 0% APR financing up to 36 months on new 2023 Mazda CX-9s. We love the CX-9. It's an awesome vehicle. And I just recently had service done, a regular checkup at Steep Pawnee Mazda. And the treatment is and was phenomenal. It's the Move to Mazda's sales event. From the dealership that's achieved first place nationally in customer satisfaction. I've seen it firsthand. As Ricky Z says, come on in and let's make a deal on a new or pre-owned Mazda. Steep Pawnee Mazda Commercial Drive in Yorkville.
Innovation Refunds does not provide tax or legal advice. We work with an independent network of tax professionals and will share information with them to evaluate and process your claims. Terms and conditions apply. Ty is a paid spokesman.
I'm Ty Burrell, actor and small business owner. You can trust Innovation Refunds with your small business's ERC claim because of their SOC 2 Type 1 security compliance. Without this, how can you be sure a company can protect your information? It's not like here on the radio, where all you need to be secure is a censor button. My password to my bank account is Ty's cool password 1. Uh-oh. Luckily, Innovation Refunds is more reliable. Go to innovationrefunds.com or call 1-843-REFUNDS to get started.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, we are moving quickly. First news, Keeler in the morning on WIBX. Our second crack at the Hobica Law Firm free money question of the day. We go to Court in Rome. Good morning, Court. How are you?
Paris, France, in a tunnel.
And that was the answer to the first question. Very good, though. All right, I'm going to go quick here. This is a baseball-related question.
Uh-oh.
Let's see here. For $100, the last time the New York Yankees won a World Series was in 2009. When was the last time they finished in last place? Ready, go.
1928.
1928. I believe the Yankees have only finished in last place in the division 3 times, and one of the times was in the 20s, but the last time they did it was actually in 1990. Court, we're still going to hook you up with the Utica all-in-one food and fun card, a $25 gift card. It's good at Aquavino, Babe, 72, Taylor and the Cook, or the concession stands at the Adirondack Bank Center. I'm going to send you back to Davey, and he's going to hook you up.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you, Court. All right, and we will transition now quickly to John Decker of Gray TV. He is the White House correspondent. the only member in the White House press pool who is an attorney. And we're going to talk to him today about another attorney, one who's been dubbed on social media as the Penguin from the original Batman, that being Rudy Giuliani. After that booking photo, I saw so many people mock up his picture to make him look like the Penguin.
I didn't see that. Now I'm gonna look that up. That's pretty good.
What's the latest on Rudy? Yeah.
America's mayor has fallen quite far in just the past 2 decades. As you know, facing criminal counts as it relates to his activities to overturn the results of the 2020 election in Georgia, and yesterday found liable for defamation against 2 election workers in the state of Georgia. There will be a jury that will determine the amount of damages that will be awarded to those 2 election workers in Georgia. That will likely happen in the next few months, but quite a fall from grace.
Yeah, it is a tremendous fall from grace. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't he out asking or essentially saying, look, I'm broke, I need help with legal fees, trying to talk to the former president into giving him some assistance?
Yeah, that's what the reporting is. And one of his political action committees actually provided Rudy Giuliani with about $300,000. But when you consider all of his legal fees, that unfortunately for Rudy Giuliani is really a drop in the bucket. And as it relates to this defamation case, we're talking about compensatory damages, likely punitive damages, and those damages could be in the neighborhood of the millions. So he is not in a good place right now financially. I understand he's selling his home in New York City right now for additional cash, and it's just not a good place for him as relates to the civil case, the defamation case, and also when you consider the criminal case that has been brought against him by the Fulton County District Attorney.
The fact that there's already, and I know it's different, criminal and civil, but the fact that there's already been a conviction in this cluster of allegations, is that another bad sign for Trump?
Maybe and maybe not. Rudy Giuliani, as it relates to the civil case, and it's called libel, being liable for defamation as opposed to being convicted. But what that particular case was determined some time ago. Rudy Giuliani actually in court papers admitted that he made false statements about those election workers. That factored into the decision by this judge. Also, the fact that he was not cooperating with the discovery process, and that led to this default judgment against him. So the jury doesn't have to determine whether or not those election workers were defamed. That has already been determined by a judge. Their only responsibility will be determining the amount of damages that will be awarded to those 2 election workers in Georgia. And their attorney was making the cable television rounds yesterday talking about tens of millions of dollars in terms of what they would be seeking as far as damages are concerned.
John, what else are you working on with Gray TV?
Well, I'll tell you, today was a day in which President Biden was supposed to travel to Pennsylvania. When you factor out Delaware, it's the state that he's visited most during the course of his presidency, with good reason. It is a battleground state. But those plans were called off. I think it had a lot to do with optics, given all of the natural disasters that his administration is dealing with right now, the aftermath of this hurricane, Idalia, also the aftermath of those wildfires in Maui as well. So I think that's the reason ultimately why he postponed this trip to Pennsylvania, because it just would not look good when you're dealing with individuals in those 2 places, in particular Florida and Hawaii, that are dealing with a lot of suffering right now.
All right. Thank you for giving us a few minutes today. Each week we are blessed to be joined by John Decker of Gray TV, of course, a member of the White House Press Corps and the only attorney in the White House Press Corps. John, thank you for a few minutes this morning, and have a great day.
Thank you. Have a great day and a great weekend. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. That is, again, John Decker from Gray TV. We are out of time. We're back again live tomorrow with YouTube. Fingers crossed. Have a great day, everyone. It's First News, Keeler in the morning, WIBX 950 AM, 106.9 FM. Of course, WIBX 950, Utica, Rome.
Idalia still churning up the East Coast. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. It'll go out to sea soon, but
we still aren't done yet. We still have the potential of this tropical storm bringing gusty winds as well as heavy rainfall up to 10 inches in some of these areas.
Fox meteorologist Janice Dean, Idalia's flooded areas of the Carolina coast and Georgia, where a man was killed by a falling tree. There's a lot of damage where the hurricane first hit.
This roof was completely torn off of this house. Other parts of the roof have been pushed up against this power line. There are couches strewn all about.
Fox Business's Grady Trimble in Keaton Beach, Florida.
We have seen power crews in the area, but 99% of this county, Taylor County, still without power this morning, and it could be a while before it comes back on.